would agree with me on this, where it's like if Islam, because I know a decent amount about Islam, they're very particular. Like for one, they don't believe in the Trinity, so that's a clear distinction
I mean,
there.
I believe in the Trinity.
Well, right, but so if you believe in the Trinity, then you can't accept Islam because Islam directly
I didn't never
rejects
said
the
I
She didn't
Trinity.
accepted
say she
Islam.
accept Islam.
I acknowledge the similarities that Islam, Christianity, and Judaism has.
So wouldn't it just make more sense for you to just say, "Hey, I just
I
fully
don't like to
accept."
put myself in a box, especially when it
Well,
like I don't have a one track mind when it comes to my faith.
so but that's what I mean. That so then earlier, so you're kind of just cherry picking what you like about particular things and kind of combining them into one.
That's just saying what I like. I don't feel like that's cherry picking. Cherry picking would be like
Well, I like this part, but I don't like this part. That's cherry picking.
I mean, I'm like I said, I don't have a one track mind when it comes to my beliefs. I don't know why it's expected, since I'm a believer, that I should just believe this one way, like this one linear way, and I
Yeah,
don't
don't
feel
let them
like that's
gaslight you.
Well,
I
that's
don't feel
what,
like that's like
well, that's why I asked you, because it's like, are you really a believer then? If you know what I'm saying, you're
I
not
just said I
really.
believe being a Christian means you believe that Jesus was sent down from heaven and he came to save us from our sins, and that he came down to restore whatever was going on, and that he resurrected and ascended back into heaven.
Yeah, he's your Lord, your Savior, and you accept that
Yes,
he's the one. He's the
and
one. The
that's
one.
what makes
The
me a
one true. The
Christian.
one. The one
Everything
true
else, I
God.
don't have to be.
Why you
No,
going?
don't let men like that gaslight you.
Yeah, like no, but he's not the
Sound like
first
my
man to do
parents.
that. Like that's why it gets annoying. Like this probably like the third dude that done told me that I'm not no real believer, and it's kind of
Well,
like
no,
you're
I'm
not
just
God.
no. It's a little confusing because it's like I agree. Like other religions do have truth in there. Like I agree with that part. That's like saying if a Muslim says two plus two is four, sure.
Just let it
But
go. Just let
but
Corey, hold on. Just
yeah.
Corey, just let it go. Because right now, I think the thing with this is that even I had the other day on Ron's panel, I was like, Ron, I think she may need to be like, on the other side in a sense. And that kind of sparked like a whole different, because we're not one track mind. We believe in like how he like if you put a bunch of believers in a room, right? Like if I was to start this whole lot of over type stuff and it would just be a bunch of believers, we will all agree on majority of the things that we kind of going to say. But if you was to say something, not saying that, not knocking what you're saying, I'm just saying it's not that we have a one track mind, it's just that we believe in what the word is like specifically saying. Like we kind of like, it's just certain things that's why he even I don't know what made him ask you. So it's like he said if you
I mean, like I said,
Well, I
Lena,
mean,
like
I
not
can speak for
everybody gonna
myself.
understand like my mind on
and
this.
that's
Like
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
I'm
I
okay
can,
with that. That's the thing.
yeah,
That's
I
why I don't
can.
really turn up for real, because it's always gonna be like people that as either they're being genuine or they're not being genuine. People are gonna ask
Yeah.
because I'm not the obviously I'm not the face of Christianity. Like I'm not like
Well, it's okay,
like
Kurt.
you know
Like
what I
it's
mean? Like
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Just like I'm saying,
but no,
like
I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue with him. Like that's the thing. I'm just
Wait,
gonna.
I'm not trying to argue. Like
yeah,
I
he's
said,
not. He just
I
asking.
was sincerely confused because again, it's like, and also like you said, I'm like, you define that because I'm not. What is that exactly? Like omniism?
Omniism. Yeah.
Basically,
Ron, explain omniism, please.
okay. Omnism is understanding that there is one universal or absolute truth, but it's not singular. It can be expressed or is shown in many different ways. So there are many different walks of life, many different philosophies, and different styles that people have fashioned their life to where you can see a perception of truth in it.
So what is that truth?
Truth is the absolute of what you're living in, the reality.
So you said you living in. So what if somebody else's truth conflicts with your variation of truth?
That's okay.
Such as what?
It could be anything. It'd be like you know what basically like imagine like if somebody comes along with something you don't like, but they say, "Well, I'm living in my truth." How could you
Mm-hmm.
contest that?
It's called
It's
compromise.
just going. It's just going their way, and I'm going my way.
But you don't live like that because you will say, "Hey, you shouldn't do
But
that."
then there's no
No,
absolute
it's
That's
not.
truth.
I would never
so
tell somebody
that would be
unless somebody was to
that's
inflict that on me.
contradictory.
I'm not going to tell them they shouldn't
But
do
then
that.
there's no absolute truth then, because
Yeah, that's contradictory. That's why I said earlier that doesn't even make any sense. It's very contradictory. That's why I
No,
said
it's not
earlier
contradictory at all.
you can't that's why I was asking Kyra
because even
earlier. Is
all
like
religions have its contradicting sense. Like
yeah,
That's
God
they
cool.
stand on their
equal
own
is
two
one
That's
feet.
not
God,
the.
Like
and
if
then you got. Go ahead, Corey. Go
that's why I
ahead.
said so. Like what I'm saying
When I'm
earlier is like this.
explaining,
Like if I'm a Christian, right? I don't need any elements from other religions because Christianity stands on its own 2 feet. That's why I was confused with Kyra
Christ.
because I'm saying
Well,
it
I
doesn't
think
make
we
any
all
sense.
like forget what I said earlier about me deconstructing. Like I know my deconstruction ain't gonna look like somebody else's deconstruction, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So,
Also, that's not
regard
even a true
Right.
statement.
You're not a Christian
no,
then.
deconstructing means I'm breaking it down piece by piece. That's what deconstructing is. I'm
Like
That's
like
actually
not what
like,
other people
like
But
say
also,
deconstructing is.
can we also acknowledge that
like Marcus,
Christianity is
Yep.
also taught
like
for
Marcus,
life?
you get what I'm saying. I'm a fellow
Yeah,
believer.
yeah,
Don't
I
you
got you,
agree?
bro.
Like
I
Christianity
got you.
stands on its own 2 feet. We don't
No,
need
it
to borrow
doesn't. What are
elements
you
from
talking
anything
about?
else.
okay,
To
okay, hold
believe
on.
that.
Regardless,
Let's go back to what Omni said. Let's go back to what Omni said. What Omni just said is, which that's his belief. That's what he believes. That's in direct um violation of scripture. What he believes.
Yeah,
So that would you
that's
can't
in direct
have
confliction with his
that belief
videos. Because
and
then why are you
believe.
attacking Christianity? That's our
Gotcha.
truth. That you're
the
contradicting your own
philosophy,
videos.
the philosophy of omnism is understanding that there's one universal truth that's expressed in many different ways. That does not mean that I accept everything in a religion or in a spiritual system.
But
But
you
I
just said
understand that
they're all
people. Hold on,
expressed.
let me finish.
Wait,
Okay,
could I
bro.
possibly add after?
It's understanding that everybody has a way of expressing life, right? I consider, or I define what to be absolute truth is the reality in which you live in. So you personally express that reality in the way that you personally walk this life.
So
If
Right.
you
like,
are a
so
Christian and you believe that Jesus Christ is Lord, I can respect the principles. I can respect the idea that the kingdom of heaven is within you. I can respect you loving one another as you love yourself.
It's a
At the
respect
same
thing.
time,
Jesus.
when it comes to Christianity, it has been very dogmatic. It's gotten very corrupted. They try to
Right.
monopolize their approach to God. So it's like on that end, I do not agree with that.
Which
Wait,
I
but
agree with. I agree with you Wait, there. wait, It wait. has there are those situations, but with Jesus, he was very confrontational about
Yeah,
when it
let's
came
take
to
pause right here.
loyalty.
All
So
right,
like
let's take pause.
Jesus.
Marcus.
Let me just land this. Let me just land this.
No,
He's not
because
trying to have that conversation, yo.
right now I don't. We can go back to it, but I want to be fair right quick because Chloe has been up here. She hasn't been saying anything. She hasn't answered the prompt, and I think that's out of respect for she knowing like how my panel go.
Okay.
She don't want to just speak out of time. So can I allow her and Coco to speak because I don't want them to just jump in without answering the prompt for me right quick. Chloe, if you hear me,
Did you see my comment before you said that?
what comment?
I just said it. I said I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh
So I'm
no!
cracking up. Yeah, like
And if I is my witness, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that comment. That's crazy. That is so freaking crazy. I promise you, I did not even see that. That's so freaking crazy. And you see how
I
like
figured you didn't
I'm
see
paying
it.
attention to like what they're saying, but I ain't even paying attention to the comments. But that's so crazy. What's okay? Wow, that is crazy. Maybe I felt your energy. Okay, go ahead. No, for real. That sounds so cliche, but I promise you right now, no, I'm not even. I ain't even see your comment. But
That's
go
why I'm
ahead.
over here cracking up because I just hit send and you already started saying.
That's
I'm like, no way she's
weird.
calling that.
That
Now you're
is so
cracking
freaking
up.
weird. Okay,
I'm
go
like, ain't
ahead.
no way. But hi everyone. So to answer the prompt, if life has no built-in purpose, why do we still search for one? Um, I don't think there's like this grand purpose to say. I think our purpose should more come from like the relationship that we have with the earth and so forth and the people within it. So our purpose is to be as much as to like protect our home, in a sense, and to protect the people in it. And I feel like if everyone like had that purpose, I think we'd be living longer, the earth would be stronger, climate would be better. I just think a lot of that things would be better. So I don't think it has like this grand purpose that like would say come from religion. I think we need the earth. The earth has been around before us, so that leads me to believe that the earth doesn't need us, we need it. And so I just feel like that's our purpose, to continue to contribute so it continues to help us. So I think that should be like the grand scheme of things. But as it relates to like on a smaller level, people search for stuff in different ways. People want to add to society in different ways, and they try to decipher how to do that within their abilities. And I guess that's just thing that we want to do, you know. So it may not be contributing to the grand scheme of like that, but say for instance, music makes people happy, and people are happy, they, you know, they produce better. So, you know, yeah, that's
All
that's
right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Corey. Corey, what you doing?
Oh, I just wanted to just quote a quick verse that kind of like
Okay.
directly conflicts
I'm not going
with
back to.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
no. It's I was
Corey.
going to
Oh
praise
my
John.
gosh. I'm not. Corey, why every time I got it,
Boy, he
you
gonna
get
pull
on
that
this
risen
panel?
out.
We are having a problem. Calm down. We gonna get back to that conversation. I want to let Coco come in and answer the prompt. Okay.
This is what the Lord has to say.
Coco, go ahead and
Or
answer
that
the
or Paul.
prompt.
Right.
Oh, what's up, everyone?
Hello, Coco.
Oh no, you're totally good. I'm chilling. I know how the debate space goes. I love the debates.
Maybe I need to get used to it because this is like I'm not that speedy debater, bro. Like I want to
Nah,
just get to the
it's
nitty
just
gritty of like
Omni does these
reality.
videos, and so sometimes
Right.
like I'll see it, and I'm like, okay, I want to talk to Omni about this later or something. You know what I mean? Because he dropped these
Marcus, no,
videos.
we're gonna get back to it. Let me just let
Yeah.
Coco
It's
answer.
Omni's fault.
Oh no, but like for me, like I don't know, like debate is my cup of tea. You know, like I love the speedy debates, the
Yeah.
quick
Don't bring
points.
that cup of tea over here. I'll slow it down for me, please, y'all.
Yeah,
Slow it down.
like
Go
I've been.
ahead, Coco.
Like I've been in a lot of debates where it's like super fast. I'm thinking on my feet, and like I study the philosophy and stuff. Well, a little bit. There, people read books.
It's okay, because let me tell you something before you say something. I watched this thing yesterday, and it was this guy and this other guy on two different sides of the tables. They had two microphones. They had a timer sitting in the middle of them, and it was 4 minutes, and they start talking about, the philosophy, and God, if God is all knowing, it was going on for like 4 minutes back and forth. But the other guy, he was more slow paced, just like I am. But the other guy is just kind of like what you be on, and it was just like. But then at the end, after it was done, they just shook. After the timer said ding ding ding, they just shook each other hands and said, "Oh, nice to meet you." And that was that. I said, you know what? This debating world thing is crazy.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But yeah.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
Oh.
Is that where you're trying to go? Like on like some type of like, freaking debating show or something, or what do you think?
It would be really cool if I could, get on.
I would love to be on Jubilee.
Yeah, on God.
Like,
yeah, like
boy, they don't know what they're in for. They put Omnis Rome on Jubilee.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, wow.
It'll be some crazy
Go
shit.
ahead, Coco. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be like, can I
One-
add like two more people with me?
One black
No more
omnis versus
cussing.
50 white Christians.
Right?
But no, swear,
Okay, go ahead, Coco.
like dude, it would be so cool if like me, the Omnist, or like some of like my fellow debaters on TikTok, we could get on Jubilee. Like that'd be pretty cool. But I'll answer the question on the screen. If life has no built-in purpose, why do we still search for one? I would say like it's evolutionary, right? Like I think like I believe in evolution. Humans descended from apes. But I also believe that like if we go way back to like earlier species, like they did not have empathy. And I think that over time as like our brains became like smarter and more complex, we started to ask questions like, hey, where are we from? Where do we come from? What's the origin of life? Like, what's our purpose? And so I think that's kind of just like evolutionary. But in regards to me, I'm more interested in like the why, I'm more interested in the how things are happening, not so much the why. Like,
Bring the why out. Bring it out, honey. See, that's the problem. Science
well, yeah,
doesn't tell you a why that much. It doesn't. Well, like it don't have a sense of purpose for it. It don't.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like science is more concerned on like how are things happening, not so much like why are things happening.
Uh,
I'm more concerned on like how are things happening. Like I'm
why
kind
are
of
you
okay.
concerned? No, why are you concerned about the how when you already got the answers?
Well, I mean, like, I don't really have the answers. That's why I'm agnostic. I'm kind of still searching, but also like, I'm
So science
okay.
gonna tell you some of the things like how this happens, how that happens. You don't understand the why. So the problem is you don't have the why answer. So you should be concerned about the why answer.
Well, yeah, but also like I'm totally okay with like us living in like a purposeless universe. Like, I'm okay with there being like no why. Um, like, because like I mean, we could just create our own purposes then. Like, I could choose who I want to be. But yeah, I'm more concerned on like how did it happen? Like, is there a God involved? Like, did God actually like speak into existence like matter and stuff like that? But yeah, I think like our search for purpose and our search for like our origin is like evolutionary. I'm okay with like a purposeless universe and we just create our own purpose. And I mean, yeah, that's why we still search for one. Oh, and then also like I was gonna add something to the previous conversation, like uh,
You can go
but
ahead and
like
get back to it, but go ahead first, and then we'll let Corey go back to what he was trying to say. I cut the comments off, y'all. Please, let's please get to 20, like 15K, and then to 20K. Right now, I, mm-mm. I'm gonna go to 15K for now, and then I'll cut them back on.
Yeah.
but
So basically, what I was saying earlier, just like
okay.
again,
No,
like
wait, Coco, and Corey. 1 second, Coco, hurry up, and then
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the Omnist and Kyra. My understanding of omniism is like it's everything that Omnis said, right? But also, um, don't they also think that oh well, like okay, I'm not sure if the Omnis heard me, but like I was gonna ask you and Kyra, like omniism is everything you said, right? Omnis, I agree with that, but also my definition of it is that they think that every religion is getting something right at the very least, like at least one specific detail. So they can critique religions, like it's okay to critique Christianity, but they do hold that like every religion has a piece of the truth, some kind of objective truth. Every religion is getting it right to some extent, but then, they're also getting it wrong in some extent. So I was wondering, like, is that correct?
So, so something that Kyra had said like earlier that I thought was really mind blowing. I had to really just marinate on it. Is like religion is kind of like a fan page. That's a really profound statement. I never really thought of religion like that. But to play off on that, like everybody is trying to figure out their way to the it factor. And so I think the thing about it is that
point to some sort of truth, while Jesus is saying, no, that is incorrect. I am the truth.
Well, yeah.
Well,
So,
look at
So,
your
so
example.
that's what I'm saying.
So
That
wait,
doesn't
wait. So
make
let me
any sense.
so let me make a wait. I want to make a quick response.
We almost at
Even if you're an
15K,
unbeliever, you would
y'all.
grant that
Thank
doesn't
y'all
make any
so much.
sense.
Please
Yeah.
continue
uh,
tapping. Thank y'all.
Yes. All right. So let me make a quick response. So in Eastern philosophy, they understand that there are many paths, many directions to the one absolute truth, right? And I don't like when Christians just openly misuse and misconstrued Jesus saying that I am the way, the truth, and the life, because that's one of the number one things that Christians love to use to try and like villainize or invalidate somebody else's belief system. And I don't even think Jesus would be somebody on board to doing that, right? But I digress on that part. When you're dealing with the aspect of omnism, you're learning different perspectives that is trying to rationalize the absolute truth. When you're dealing with an aspect of Jesus saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life, contextually, he's talking with his disciples about how they could foresee the Father. And then I believe it was Philip who asked him, like, well, what does the Father look like? How are we going to see the Father? And Jesus is like, I've been with you this whole time, and you don't know who the Father is? Like, when you see me, you see the Father. It's a state of beingness. It's what's right here in front of you.
Bro, that is not what Jesus said at
Okay, I
all.
understand
Jesus
your
by
religion.
nature is
I know your religion
Jesus
goes
by
against that.
no, because again, what are you
It
talking
does
about?
it wrong. It
That's
does not.
Okay,
incorrect.
see, this is
Go
what I'm
ahead,
That's
talking
Corey.
about.
Go
incorrect.
ahead.
No,
The
like
Go ahead,
Eastern,
Corey, and then
so
I'll
so
jump
so
in.
look at the what I'm saying is Jesus didn't say, well, ask me, then ask Buddha, then ask Muhammad, then ask his other. No, he said, I am the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life.
why would he mention other people in that statement?
Because in your belief, you said.
But you don't have the
Even in a
authority to
Christian,
tell
he agrees.
anybody
Be
how to live
consistent.
their
That's
truth
all
or
I'm
live
saying.
out their
But
beliefs. You don't have
Christianity is
that
not
authority.
consistent, Corey. There's over 40,000 denominations. Now, to Kara's point, like she's her own being, and she's a Christian. She proclaims that Jesus Christ is Lord. She proclaims that Jesus Christ was unalive and resurrected from the dead, right? But she has a different way of perceiving the Bible and those different stories than you do, right? That's why
Yeah.
there are different denominations, because there are different perspectives and interpretations of
No,
how
but
they
but
see
no,
Not
this.
to mention,
but here's the
I've
here's
yet
the
to meet even
distinction.
the
If
most
you're
somebody's
Now that
personal
contradicts Omni.
experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
contradicts Omniism now.
yeah. So
No, it
That's not.
doesn't.
You
No,
didn't hear
what
what
are you
Omni
talking
said.
about? Now you're being
He's not.
dense because you clearly heard what I said the first time, but now you're trying to
Yeah, and I
twist up
agree
my
with you.
words.
here, Kyra. All I'm going to ask you is this question. So,
It's a contradiction.
if you claim you believe in Jesus, what you're essentially saying is Jesus is not enough. That's what you're saying.
No,
That's what
listen,
you're
stop
saying.
putting words in my mouth.
No,
Corey,
ma'am.
that's
No,
crazy,
you're
bro.
putting
No,
words in my mouth.
that's what you're
Yeah,
No,
saying.
that
you're
might
putting
be.
That's
words in my
crazy.
mouth is what you're
Wow.
doing.
If you say you need
You're
elements
putting
from
words
other
in my
perspectives
mouth
and
instead of
beliefs,
hearing the words that are coming out my mouth.
So wait,
no,
Corey.
ma'am. Like,
Let me
listen,
hop in.
Hey,
I'm not trying to come
okay,
at
let
anybody
it
wrong.
go. Let that go.
Can we
Okay,
ask a
let
question?
it
Can we ask a
go.
follow
I
up
This
question?
is
mean,
why she's
you can ask her a
deconstructing,
question, but at the
y'all.
same time, I'm gonna tell
I
y'all
just,
this. Let me
yeah.
tell y'all this. I understand that if someone is saying that they are a Christian, a believer, like, you know what I'm saying, believer in God, we have some contention where it is some things that we may disagree with what someone is saying. It is our in a sense, how can I say it? We supposed to correct in love, right? So in a sense, we supposed to do these things if it's about the faith, you know what I'm saying? But let us try to ask questions and then, let's not assume anything. I don't want us to assume anything, but ask questions. Like, because at the end of the day, Kara is not, so I have an age limit to this conversation, but I accept her here because I do believe she is, in a sense, mature enough to have these conversations. That's why I allow her up here. But also, you have to be mindful of certain things. Not saying she's too young to know. Like, I don't do all that. Your mind expands when you're at a young age, or all these other stuff. And it doesn't matter about the age. I think it's just about comprehension skills and all of these other good qualities that we can do in a conversation. But all I do want to say, nobody assume anything about Kyra. Just ask her questions and don't assume anything, because you do not know her life journey. Nobody knows anything, so let us not assume anything.
Okay, so I'm going strictly off what the Bible teaches.
Okay.
All I'm saying,
Okay.
please, can I finish, please? So all
Wait, what happened?
Thank you. She dropped her because first of all, she's the one speaking. Talking about, can I finish, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
See, just let that evil spirit out. Like, dang.
And
Like for me,
my
I
thing
think
is, what I
that.
wanted to say to him is that, because he's like, oh, it contradicts, omnism contradicts with Christianity. Okay, it contradicts, but Christianity doesn't contradict with omnism. So if that's the case, that's fine. If omnism contradicts with your faith, that's fine. But Christianity doesn't really contradict with omnism, what it's saying about that absolute truth. So just let it go.
Respectfully does. It does contradict, because we're saying that Jesus is God. And there's only one true and living
Yeah,
God.
but
Everything
omnism doesn't
else.
talk about a specific God. That your
Well,
religion
to
goes down
determine.
into it,
Well,
right? What is the meaning of omnism,
so
right?
it
That's the
kind of
thing.
goes
That's what
back to
I'm
the
Please don't
saying.
ask
prompt.
him that.
It kind of goes back to the prompt, right? Because the best
That's
questions are
okay, Marcus.
answered with religion, right? What's the meaning of life? What happens when we die? What is morality?
Okay, Marcus. I
So
get you, but let me say, because
no.
I don't think
So
you heard me, and then you're gonna go down on something that I didn't say, and I don't want that.
no, I
If
don't.
you want to do
I'm
that,
not a.
that's
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, okay, it's fine. Omnism in itself contradicts with Christianity, but Christianity doesn't contradict with omnism. So from your world standpoint, it's gonna contradict because the teachings and you say I'm the way, the truth, and the light. But omnism within itself doesn't go down deep into a religion. It speaks about like there's this absolute truth. It really can't really be known, but religion is trying to attempt that, right?
You just said
So
something.
again,
You said something that contradicts Christianity. You said that it's this absolute truth when what Corey just said is that Jesus
did
is
anyone
the only
else get
truth.
what
He
I
said,
said?
I
no.
understand what you're
I'm.
Yeah,
saying.
Okay,
I
and
I don't. It's
100%
not about
understand what
what
you're
other
saying,
person
Chloe.
said. I have to repeat back
okay.
to
You have
you
to
what
you
you
have to
said.
break stuff down like baby food for Marcus.
Oh, because
No, no,
that's
no.
why I wanted to check. If other persons didn't understand, then I
So
could say. But if you
I
guys
don't.
understand, then it's fine.
I don't know if you understand based off of Christianity. What Christianity teaches is that
Marcus, we
Jesus
get it.
Christ is the only truth.
We get it. You're trying
There's
to
Okay,
no
and that's
wait,
why
monopolize.
I
but
There's
say
no way
okay,
to
omnism
but
God
doesn't
but through
that's
Jesus.
right
We
there
get
is a
that.
direct
contradict with.
contradiction.
Uh,
Because if
I
that's
agree
called
with you,
contradiction.
Marcus.
It's
Are
kind
you
of like,
getting?
wait, let me finish. You gotta like, I don't even want you to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me or don't agree with me. Just let me finish. So
Okay, then go
no,
ahead.
no,
That's
no.
fine.
It's not about preaching. It's just that okay.
They
So let
have
me
to know the
let me
truth.
teach you about a contradiction. So like Islam in the Quran, it says our religion will not be violent, but then it says in like later chapters or later verses that you are to make war against those that follow like Christianity, Judaism. You're to make war. You're to make jihad against them. So like that's a contradiction.
Okay,
So
Marcus,
like
Marcus, the
when you're
only
saying
way that we can, Marcus, the only way
okay,
that we can
go ahead.
answer this question is if we ask wrong, wrong. What is the form of truth, the sense of truth in Islam faith?
The Islamic faith.
Yes.
In what case?
I don't know. You tell me. You have studied all of these religions. You do probably feel that there's some type of form of truth. Can you tell me
Oh
what
no,
is the
I don't
form
study
of truth?
Islam. I don't
Okay.
study Islam like y'all don't study Islam. So we're in the same boat.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Just to
But
get
I'm
back
not an
to like
omnist.
the
I'm not an
Now
omnist.
I wouldn't mind studying
But
Islam, but see,
listen. I'm not an omnist, right? So I don't have to study that because that's not something that an omni is supposed to have studied all religions and find
no.
some truth. Oh, really? Okay.
That's
Okay.
not what an omnis is.
Okay.
Omnism is they're open enough to study from different religious perspectives, but my mission is not to study every
Wait. Okay,
single
your mission
religion.
is not to do that, but you still supposed to have no knowledge of all religions to even say that there's some
Based on what?
form. Oh, okay. All right. It is what it is. Then there's a bunch of
Wait,
contradicting
based on
things
what?
that based on your omnism.
Wait, so
Omnism
let
does
me
not
add.
is not a
Let me add.
requirement or a
Okay,
prerequisite
let
to
me go
know
find out
every
what I'm
religion.
specifically trying to say, and then we can make that clear distinction. I only asked you about Islam so that I could see what you know about Islam to ask from your point of view of what do you find is a form of truth in that religion, because you can
Yeah.
tell me what's the form of truth in Christianity, but can you tell me what's the form of truth in Islam, the Islam faith, or the Buddhist faith? Can I? Okay, well, since you don't know about Islam faith, can you tell me something about the Buddhist faith? What is a freaking form of truth or whatever, something? This your belief, not
Okay,
mine.
Well, hold on. So
for
let,
one,
let me ask
omnism
something
is not a
really quick.
belief system.
So
Okay.
let me ask something really quick. So like
Hold on.
when it comes to like omniism, right? Like based off of like what I've studied about it, like I don't know too much about it. I'm not gonna like claim omniism, but like uh omniism to me is defined as like the belief that all religions and belief systems contain varying degrees of truth without believing in the entirety of any single one. Like I think that's like a perfect definition encapsulating my understanding of like omniism. But I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
side with that.
that's good. But even if though, he still can tell me what form, what truth is.
Excuse. But at the same time, I would not go out of my way to try and cast judgment on something that I do not know, so I discard it altogether. We'll try and box Islam into some type of box or try and cast judgment on it. And a lot of them don't understand or know the religion in itself. I would be willing to study Islam if somebody, if I knew somebody was like in their right mind, somebody who actually, knew the Quran for what it was, that would nowhere near make me a Muslim. But I would like to study from somebody rather than studying from a Christian who's trying to say that, oh, their way is the only way type of thing. Now, what to your point about Buddhism, I'm not a Buddhist, but I think the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path is something that a lot of people can like really contribute their life to. I think that's something that is very profound.
But an omnist is someone who finds truth and can say that there is some form of truth in all religions. So if you are, let me get it directly of the definition, because at this point, what I'm saying is it's not. I guess it's not something that you say that you don't do as a preference because you're not a. I mean, you don't want to study about Muslim faith, but an omnist.
Lord mercy, you got to go back to Google. I mean, I'm right here. I could.
No wrong. But still, though, it don't make sense. You're right here, but you're still not wanting to understand what I'm trying to say. That you are an omnist, which means you find some truth in all religions. So that means you would have to have studied majority of the religions to even find truth in all of them. If you are an omnist.
Yeah, to make the claim that there's going to be truth in all
You're not
religions, you
understanding
probably
what I'm
study all
trying to
religions.
say. That means you had to have studied all religions to find some truth in all of it. Contains some truth. I said fine, bump fine. It contains some truth. So when we switch out the word fine to contain, because that's what the definition is that I'm looking over here, that means you would have had to look into all religion and find which religion contained a form of truth. I guess
Do you have to have a whole
reflects to
understanding?
you.
Do you have to have a whole understanding of the Bible though to be able to claim to be a Christian, or do you just have to like have the belief?
You switching the goalposts. I'm
no, right? Like y'all are, I think y'all are holding,
because this is the thing, right?
Y'all are holding omniism to a standard that like applies the exact same way to Christianity, right? It's not a knowledge claim, it's a belief claim. He believes that each religion contains a bit of truth the same way. You believe that Jesus rose from the dead.
Stay right there. So when I asked about Islam faith, I'm asking what form of truth is in what is
and
the
he said he doesn't have the knowledge, so that would require more studying. I don't understand why that's a big contention here.
It's a big contention because they can't accept. They can't accept the fact that there's a different perspective when it comes to life in itself.
That means you don't know what
that's not
right?
true, bro. Nobody.
That omniism.
That's you.
Omniism.
She was hearing me, but it's like just empathy towards others. Now, that's not the only thing each religion teach. Everyone builds on these like core foundations. So it's like we don't know like exactly that ultimate truth, like what exactly happened in that moment, in that time that caused this or whatever, and we can't claim it this or whatever, and we can't claim it to be from there. But like in my opinion, it's like the core beliefs of every religion, which is truth, like being kind to one another. I'm not sure if you were in the chat when I was explaining the relationship that we have with our home, which is the earth, and how we should be living in it to get the best fruit from it and like live longer. And so in my opinion, like with like the teachings in Islam and so forth, they speak about the 5 pillars and like fasting. Now, while fasting may be kind of like different in every way, but it's like similar to like grounding yourself. It's giving charity and so forth. So there's like some truth there. Now, while I agree with Ron that, hey, you don't have to study every single religion in depth to really know that it has some like form of truth, because I don't study
That's
all
true.
others.
That's
I'm
true.
talking about to be an omnist.
Can I say this?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
omnism, I had just not saying that I had to really get one key factor straight. So you don't have to study all religions, but you
Not
do
in
have
depth.
to. There is I think they have like, Ron has a form that all beliefs have some type of something that they can teach us, I guess. So I'm gonna correct the way that I see his omnism. Even if he explained to me 100 million times, I still
Power said that 30
like.
minutes ago.
Wait, yeah. So
It's still like you have to. I'm open to correcting myself. Ain't no pride. I don't have pride. I'm very humble. So
Right,
I
if you're
am. So for me, I think that because that's you. This is your life. I don't have that. I don't argue that type of stuff. So
wait,
for
yeah.
me, let me go
Okay.
back. Hold on, don't interrupt me. So, yeah, like you think that you can find something, but it's not like one thing has the full picture type stuff. But then as for me, like I said, it's a problem for me because like if we all gonna be talking about this, that, and the third, what the freak is the truth for real?
Yeah,
That's for me. Like,
if
like
there's this
what the
truth that we
hell?
can't understand, then how do
Exactly.
omnists access any truth
Yeah,
at
it's
all?
like, I ain't got time to be
Okay.
talking
I
about
Hey,
think
this.
it's
it's gonna
hard
take
to
all
find.
It
day
should
to try
I
and
answer
like
think
break
it's
this
like your
hard
down.
to find
religion.
truth in
Omni, your
Like if you
belief
like
should
so.
answer
it's not a
Let him
belief.
speak, y'all.
God
Marcus,
darn
yeah.
it,
let him
it's not a
speak. Let him
belief.
Okay,
speak.
but Omni, if people are dealing with like on the point of unalive, right? Like, what in your belief is going to make me feel better about what's about to happen
Okay, he
once
said it's
I'm
not a
It's not
belief.
a belief. Omnist, I can make that decision and being like, that's not okay.
Oh, it's a worldview. It's a worldview. So stop saying
It's a
beliefs. It's a
philosophical approach.
worldview. Okay.
Like
But
I say this all the
it can
time.
be a
I'm gonna
belief
still make them
too.
deck of cards,
It's a
Dorisha.
worldview, y'all.
To me, it can be a belief, but you have the belief, but then you
wait,
have
so
like a
it's a belief
system
or
around it.
No, it's a
Let me finish.
worldview. No, it's a
Let me finish.
worldview.
I'm just adding on to what they're saying, Marcus. They gave their perspective. I'm just giving mine.
Yeah, go
It
ahead.
doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm just saying, to me it can still be a belief, but then the system, when you form like a system around it, like a structural thing to like influence others, I think that's the difference. So it's still like a belief, but it doesn't have like this
Well,
structure
tell that
around it.
wrong tell that he said it's
oh
not a
wow.
belief.
He just said it's
Yeah,
not a
no,
belief.
I'm just giving my additional. So
Right,
I could be wrong.
metamorphosize
I'm
it.
just saying.
Well, I know, Kobe. I'm just saying, I don't know. He said it's not a belief, so wrong is not a belief. It's a worldview. What else?
What I mean by belief, I'm saying it's not a religion, right? Like when I had this
Question.
conversation, literally just a philosophical standpoint or point of view in which of you understand that in these different walks of life and these different systems that is created in this world, there's an aspect of truth in it, that everybody in this world is living the same reality and they're trying to make sense of the world that they live in. Me being omnis, I can learn and observe from these different walks of life. That's it. Y'all
So it said
overcomplicating
that
it. Y'all.
it says that every religion has something that it can teach us. So when I asked you about Islam, I was trying to see what you knew about Islam that you believe that it can have something to teach us. That's the only reason why I
Yeah.
asked you. Not something that it's an obligation, but if anybody come and ask you that question, Because you are an
Yeah, I say the same thing.
I think you should have that type of answer in a sense. Like, I'm just
Oh
saying.
no. I
don't
don't
know.
see. The thing is, for me, I don't mind. I would not mind learning about Islam. The only thing is, I want to learn Islam the right way. I think for me personally, it's complicated to try and study Islam the right way because, in the right way, I'm not saying the right way as in saying like Islam is a pure religion, but I don't want any type of like, I want to learn from somebody that's like professionally in Islam. They give me the rundown of the Quran, how it's broken down, what it says in Arabic, and then put it in English, the different principles, the different, if they have their own personal foundations of the stories of how they see in the Bible and stuff like that. Like I will learn that way. The reason why I haven't gone out of my way to like make my own personal case of that is because, for one, I focus so much on like what I do with my personal brand and my personal workings and what I got going on, that like, I mean, I could do like a little studying on the side, but like my personal studies right now is in ancient Christianity. It's not in Islam right now. I don't mind. I would not mind learning from about Islam, but that's just not my focus right now.
Still, like, to me, it seems like you guys are saying, like, and I understand it comes to religion, but like, it seems like you're saying, like, I as an agent can take certain parts of cultures that I like and appropriate it and make it my own culture from whatever culture I want.
That's
And then
not
I'll
at
take
all.
parts
That's
of it
not
that I
laws
like,
work.
and then the parts of it that I don't like, and I'll just leave the parts that I don't like.
That is not what omnism is.
So
But
then what
also,
is
that's
this
kind of
truth
the
that you're
entirety
getting
of
at?
like how
That
Christianity
might
started
be
too.
something that I
Is the
could
cult.
personally do. I mean, I think that's what everybody does. That's what I
So
mean.
then
Like
what
in our
is the
society,
truth
that's what we
that
do.
all
It's
religions aim
it's
at?
like our society is a mixing pot in a sense. Omnism is a literal, and I'm gonna say this one more time, is a philosophical approach and understanding that there are
That all
different
walks
aspects
have
of
something to
truth.
learn. Yes, I know. I heard
Yes.
you. What
Okay.
is this
So it's not
truth
about you
that they're all aiming
appropriating.
at? What is it?
There, truth is the absolute reality that you live in. It's an experience. It's not about some type of foundation of what is and what isn't.
What? So you
Truth
have
and
some.
fact are two different things, is what he's saying.
What?
What?
Brother, that
Stone
might be some of the
Cold.
dumbest shit
Listen,
I've ever heard. Google right now what truth is.
I don't have to Google it. I studied it.
So you can tell me right now what your like definition of truth is for
Wait,
your
hold on.
linguistic
Wait, you
model,
got to
but that
send the
isn't going to
coin
be
for.
the
Wait.
colloquial sense
Hold
of
on.
truth.
As a moderator, you got to send the coin because you was cussing.
What I
Oh,
say?
yeah, you guys send a coin. I'll send a
What I
coin
say?
for you.
What I
You
say?
said the S word.
Oh, did
You'll
I?
be able to get back to the
question.
My bad.
Oh, y'all ain't told me. Nobody, mine didn't tell me I had. Y'all don't gotta tell me that, but I don't have a gift goal up. So I mean, it's cool though.
Oh,
Vibing.
but
But go ahead, Prince. You had a question. I don't also. I want us to like have a sequence of. We have been like over talking one another too. So let's try to.
So you're saying that all religions have a thing to teach. And then I brought up this example where I could travel to Greece, learn about Greece's culture, take the parts I like of Greece's culture back with me and my experience to America. And you said that's not what omniism does with different religions. So then now I'm confused because there's this truth that you guys claim that all religions are going for. And you just explained it as like the reality that we live in or something like that. What is this truth that people are aiming for? Why do all religions have access to it? Like I was going to give the example of like, let's say I follow a religion that just like it's a cult where grape is the only thing that we do. What good can you learn from that cult? Like it doesn't make sense.
Well, there's no religion that just says like, oh, that's what we do for a living, just that we great people. But to my other point about talking about truth, as I said from before, when you study into the Eastern world of what truth is not a matter of what you believe and what you don't believe. Truth is your personal experience in this world, which is why I was telling you that truth is the ultimate reality of which we are all living in. We're all living in this life, and so we have a way of expressing it and interpreting that way of life. And so as something to pull from the Vedas, that the truth is one, but the wise call it by many different names. There are different walks of life in which we live in to where even down to the nitty gritty of when we walk into a store, everybody's not walking into the store for the same purpose and for the same thing. So we're on this panel right now. Everybody has a different platform. Everybody has a different name. Everybody has a different profile picture. Everybody has a different personal experience. And through that experience, That's how they define and interpret life for themselves. Now, I'm not willing to tell somebody else that they are in the wrong for whatever they believe in, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, a Hinduist, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic, skeptic. But it is completely wrong when you try and tell me that my perspective or somebody else's perspective, or how 30 minutes ago they was trying to proclaim Kyra wasn't a Christian. That is something that I will not stand for.
If me and you were having a conversation and obviously we're talking about religion at the moment, but if we were talking about math and you blatantly, because you've read math textbooks, that 2 + 2 = 4. And in my framework, my worldview, I'm going to say, no, 2 + 2 = 5. That's my truth. Like, you would obviously disagree with me, right? There is an objective truth.
Dang, Prince.
But I think the point is
of
that
course.
there's
But the thing is, nobody says 2
like,
+ 2 = 5.
What?
But they do say 1 + 3 is.
You
Hold
making
on.
a bunch of crazy
Wait.
claims.
Let me make it. So 2 + 2 is 4. But another person will say, well, 5 - 1 is 4. Another person might say, well, 4 divided by 2, or 8 divided by 2 is 4. Somebody might say, well, they're going to different conclusions and coming to the same destination. So, okay, I hear you. Somebody said 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is 367. Okay. But that's not the point. That's not what we're getting at when we're studying different aspects of religion. Now, everybody has their own diversity in the way of how they walk life. I'm not saying every religion is the same thing with a different flavor, but every religion is coming to one specific expression or some type of explanation of the it factor. Whether you agree or disagree with their traditions, agree or disagree with their practices. You even have religions where they have.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Many of them are
I'm not
contradictory.
saying, hold on. That's completely irrelevant to what I'm talking about with omnism. I'm not saying every religion is like everybody's the same, they have similar things. Everybody has some type of consistent practice or some type of consistent explanation for the world in which they live in, is what I'm telling you. There is an aspect of truth. I mean, we can deal with anything that could be some of the most
So that's their
obsolete
understanding,
or
but that's not
controversial.
true.
Hold on. Some of the most controversial or obsolete practices that have been created, but you could still come to some form of understanding of some aspect of truth and different ideas of how they see the world.
Wait, what is your definition of truth because we're just going to be talking.
You asked this 10 times and I keep giving you the same
I asked
answer,
it once
bro.
and you said reality, and that's going to be
Could we get it back on the prompt,
Hold on,
please?
please
We've
don't
been
interrupt
on
me.
this for so long.
Please don't interrupt me. Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be an idiosyncratic definition of the word truth. Only you use it. I've never heard anyone define truth that way.
Well,
and
that's
if that is
premise.
truth, can you give me an example of truth?
I give you about 2 to 3 different examples.
Can you give me the example though? I just asked.
I told you, it's your experience.
So experience equals truth? Yeah, Ma did. Experience equals truth though?
I said, who turned your mic off? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
This guy literally broke the
I don't know.
His name is Tanner Witt, and he holds the record for the highest jump.
I was saying, could we get back to
experience equals truth though?
Mister, it's gonna be the same thing.
It just always ends up devolving into trying to figure out what omnism
experience equals truth.
I know they would have made me the point, the pinpoint of this.
That's not true. It's how we got here.
Literally does
it's
every time.
Okay, but how we got here, because it's confusing.
It's not confusing. It's confusing for you.
Experience equals truth.
It is.
I just told you the absolute
yes or
truth
no?
of the world in which we live
experience equals truth. Yes or
He's
no?
actually based off your religion, or your belief.
See what I mean?
Worldview,
They still think omnism is a religion.
Experience equals truth. Yes or no, gang?
No, that's Marcus.
What you yelling for?
Because I've asked the same question like
times.
Evidently, you ain't listening.
Experience equals truth. Yes or no?
You heard what I said.
Yes or no? You're running from the question at this point. It seems like you don't believe your beliefs as much as you think.
Okay,
what you mean, Prince? What you mean,
He
Prince?
said that truth is going to be our experience of life. That's the simplified version of what he said.
The truth of the world we live in is the absolute reality of what we live in.
If my experience says that 2 + 2 = 5, then that's true. And that's where the conflation comes in. Because that definition of truth isn't going to work.
Okay.
Because when I asked you to give an example of something true, then you didn't do it, right? So again, answer my question. Is
It's okay.
experience
I know
equal
I know how we
truth?
got here. I would
You're
just
right,
Okay, then,
like
Prince.
mister, don't try to make it seem like we just sit here and come up here and talk about wrong, like in his omniism.
no, I'm just
Because
I
saying
mean,
the
like
it
thing
if
about
happens
this
a
it
was like
lot
a
is,
more
smaller
than
point
but
what
to
the
we
the
thing
think.
prompt,
about it
if
is,
this was
oh
a
my
smaller point to
gosh,
the prompt,
oh
then
my
it would have just been
gosh.
like
The
on
thing
this for
about it
30
is
minutes.
wrong. Did you sit here and say, well, after you deconstructed, you found out what omniism is, and you said, I'll go with that better.
Yeah, that
Okay.
perspective of how I see
All
the
right. All right.
world, I took that perspective and I was like,
All
that's what
right.
something that resonates with
Cool.
me.
Okay, got it, got it. So that resonates with you, and that don't mean that everything else is false. Can we just move on now?
I
Yes,
just wanted to
please.
establish that it's very clear that like truth, these people use idiosyncratic definitions of the word, but truth is going to be that which is objectively true, which can be proven by evidence or fact. When you try to conflate fact and truth, this is where you run into those issues. Because if your experience is truth, someone in the comments said, Rohn stated there's multiple different ways to get to the truth using the example of math. Regardless of the ways that I get to the number 4, as long as all of those equations are correct, those are going to be factual equations, factual mathematical equations that we can use to get to the number 4. Those equations are going to be true. Those are objective. No matter what I think, what you think, what anyone on this panel thinks, the ways that we can get to the number 4 are objectively going to be true. That's why I don't like this definition of truth. Because when I brought up the cultural appropriation thing, it was like, oh, we aren't taking certain things and leaving the ones that we don't. Everyone is misunderstanding this truth. Well, then how do you know that you understand it? How do you know that omnis comprehend the truth at all?
Because omnism is a perspective. That's all it is. It's an approach to how you see the world and how you can define or how you can study from other people. Y'all keep overcomplicating what omnism is. We literally had a two hour
Let
live
it
stream panel
go.
on
Okay, I
Delisha's
run this
panel.
show. Ain't nobody run this show. And if you think you run this show, y'all can get gone. What Martin said, get the stepping. Respectfully, honestly, lovingly. All the things. Okay? Okay. Yes. So bump
We
all
just
this
deal
and
with
getting off
omnism for
that
like an hour now.
omnism. We getting off
Literally.
that omnism stuff. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Wrong with the freak? Let's get off this.
Miss
Let's get
Lena,
off this, Arby's, please. Like, let's go on to the next subject.
I just, I know I came up here and didn't answer the panel. I kind of started talking
Go
around about
ahead,
omnism,
Prince.
but I believe that the purpose in life is going to be like ultimate relationship with the creator of life and the creator of yourself. When I was an atheist and like I didn't have a belief in a deity, it led to me feeling like life didn't have a purpose. And like we can look at I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I don't know why, but the creator of nihilism, he said that ultimately like life has no purpose. I think that if there is nothing that exists extrinsically to you that can offer you a purpose, then yeah, there will be no purpose in life.
Yeah, so I think atheism, this prompt is really revolving around atheism in a sense. Or atheists for atheists. Because atheists, or it could be for anybody who don't like believe that their source gives them a sense of purpose, that they have to find their own purpose. So I think it revolves around this. Like,
You just said it yourself. You said the source offers people a purpose. And it's like if you
no,
don't
it
hold
don't.
to a
It don't,
source,
like, not
then
their source. Like, they find their own purpose through the source. Like, not through the source, but like being the source. That's what they say. They say like they have the source, like they're the light or whatever like that, and they find their own meaning in this life. So
I
they don't
certainly
believe
don't say
that
that as an
people.
atheist.
Well, not you, mister, but like spiritualists, like
Yeah.
people who believe in some form of like spirituality. They don't give it like an identity or a personal God like how we do as like believers. We do believe that like the Father is the creator, the one who has intention in all that he does, and he created us with a specific purpose. And we have that purpose, and that's what it is. But like people who believe in like stores, they believe they make their own purpose, and then like that. So that's what this prompt is for, or an atheist. It can go both ways. So like,
Wait, what's your definition of purpose?
I would say now from a biblical standpoint, or like just
your language model. When you're talking to people, what is the identity that you're describing?
Serving, like, you know what I'm saying, like a sense of servitude, like something that you can contribute to others, like you like, you get what I'm saying, like you can't just like, that's just any type of product that's being made, that's like an iPhone. It's serving a purpose. Whatever you're serving, like whatever purpose it's serving you to get online and make money. It's serving you to get online to do whatever you gotta do. It's serving a car. It's serving its purpose. It's serving you to get around. It's serving you to, you know what I'm saying? So what purpose are you serving, like as a being, or what are your product, like not product, because I don't want to make it seem like you some product in the store, but you have to have a meaning for your life, like basically you have to have something gotta be serving. It gotta be some type of form of servitude. That's
Could
what
you
I
say it's something that people devote their time to? Like, what if I
would
was an
say that too.
atheist,
Yeah, I
but
would
all
say
the
that
time, I work all the time, then I come home and I go straight to sleep. So would my purpose be like work or money or something like that?
I mean, if that's so, what's the end goal? You get what I'm saying? Or what is the like?
Just staying alive. I just want to get money so I can eat and sleep and do it again the
I
next
feel
day.
that. But okay, so what are you?
Base.
Okay, what is your why for going to work though? Oh, you're just staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, in this hypothetical, is literally just
You
going to
don't
be
have
staying alive.
kids, like you don't.
Nah, no, ma'am. I'm 21.
Okay, so so I would just say, until, do you have any desires? Do you have any passions? Do you have anything that you believe like?
Well, I do. This is a hypothetical. I do. But
Oh,
in this hypothetical, no. I literally just want to go to work the next day. Like, I love my job. I want to come
okay.
home, go to sleep, go to my job the next day.
So let me ask you a question. Who is at your job that probably could be possibly inspired by you?
That's a good question. Let's say my manager. I have a good friendship with my manager. And I want to inspire my manager, and that's why I go to work every single day. I like this thought experiment. It's hard.
Okay. So if your manager tell you that, hey, Prince, he probably don't tell you that, but he be like, man, you make my day when you come in here and you do your job. You feel me? Like your manager is now feeling some type of way that he got somebody he can depend on, because you come in, you do your work, and now you're serving a purpose for being at that job. What if, like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
so that's a whole nother purpose. You peep how you just did that? So now we got two purposes in the mix. Now that's hard. Yeah, we should just do that with people on the panel. Okay.
Yeah, his purposes. Yeah. Hey, what y'all got going on? But yeah.
I'd be curious, Prince, because I asked some of the Christians this, and I've been getting various
Thank you,
answers.
Thank you.
Imagine like you live your life as best as you can according to the biblical values of God, and when you get up to heaven, God tells you that everything you did had nothing to do with the purpose that He gave you. You were like wrong and incorrect. Like, do you feel like that would like change the way you viewed your religion? Wouldn't change it? Do you feel like it would like
In this
positive,
hypothetical,
negatively?
am I a Christian or an agnostic?
Let's say you're a Christian.
I don't see that happening based on scripture. So I feel like there's sort of a dichotomy here. Either one or two things will happen. I'll either be a true believer based on scripture. And so that means that my wills and wants will align with the Father's. I would like what He likes and hate what He hates. And so as such, I'd see myself aligning with His purpose for myself. Or I would think I was a Christian. I would think I was following what the scripture said. And truth be told, I actually had no epistemic access to the knowledge that I wasn't. And so the Father would judge me accordingly. And there's a verse that mentions, there's multiple, but the one that I like to use, it talks about workers or slaves. And it says that the one who had more knowledge of his actions will receive more lashings, and the one who had no knowledge will receive less lashings. So maybe there will be a consequence, but I'm also a hopeful universalist. So like this idea of hell doesn't really stick with my framework. sense there? I hope that wasn't just so rambling.
It felt more like a non-answer, but I'll take it.
It's one of two things. Either you were a Christian and you did fulfill your purpose, and so that won't happen. It's impossible given our framework. Or you thought you were a Christian and you were wrong, and so God will judge you accordingly.
Yeah, and I was asking more for like how you would feel about that situation. Like, do you feel like you can be mistaken, or like a true Christian can be mistaken on the purpose that was given to them by God?
No, given the Bible, like, no, it's impossible for a true Christian to be confused. Like, just by definition, like if we're gonna grant the Bible, a true Christian would have direct communion with the Father. But I don't know, like I literally can't imagine that hypothetical because it's contradictory to the text. Those who are true believers will follow the Father's will, and the Father's will is what, if you're aligned with the Father's will, you'll fulfill your purpose.
And do you feel like there's not any Christians who have ever like they felt like they were aligned with the Father's will, they had genuine true belief, but they could have been mistaken?
Yeah, I definitely believe that's happened before, and I think that they were judged accordingly. The Father saw that their heart posture was that of a person who was trying to do the best that they could given the knowledge available to them, and they were incorrect, but they didn't have the ability to do otherwise.
Cool. Does that mean that like they would go to hell if they didn't fulfill the purpose that was given them by God? Just out of curiosity.
The Bible literally says like the Father will judge you righteously. And so when you think about the definition of a righteous judge, if you don't have the ability to do otherwise, how could he judge you for such? How could he condemn you if you didn't have the ability to fulfill your purpose?
I agree. See, now that was definitely a better answer. I appreciate that. You see, Marcus, that's how it works.
What are you talking about?
Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, his answer is, I mean, it's a good answer, right? If that makes you satisfied, mister, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like,
we can do better, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to purpose and meaning, so I don't want to go back to omniism, but I kind of do, just for a little bit. Omni, okay, so it's a worldview, right? It's a worldview, but how come this worldview doesn't have answers to life's questions? Like, how come it doesn't answer, like, because it seems like, okay, you're saying like it's a worldview, but then I'm gonna use other religions' truth because you're saying I embrace other truth. No, you can't embrace other truths because I'm saying that I believe this worldview, and this worldview is true, but you believe that there's other truths. Well, that's a contradiction because you're not answering with your worldview what is actually like, what's the meaning of life? How do we judge? How do we govern, how we live in this reality? I guess that's what people want answers for. Like when we're going after a worldview or we're going after a religion, like we need answers to these questions. It can't just be, well, go Google it or whatever.
Right there, you see why religion was made in the first place. Persons trying to find some sort of answer. To me, it doesn't like serve to answer like, oh, this. It just says that there's like this truth. There's a reality. There is some harmony in how we all like the relationship between all living things and so forth. And so that is the truth. That's what we know for a fact, that there's interdependency. That is the truth. But what religion does is put a story around that truth, that because we know that without with some, there has to be some sort of a cause, right? Now, when a lot of times when people say a cause, they say, see, that's why religion. No, religion serves to build a story around that cause. It doesn't have to be a grand cause as what many people think. And it can be a grand cause as many people think. We can't really understand or measure that truth because we need a few things to get to that truth. We need contact, and the other thing, I don't remember. Is contact
Who
and
determines you
something.
need contact for that truth?
I'm going based off the definition, so that's why I wanted to pull it up actually, so I know what
Oh,
we're
specifically for omnism?
specifically. Yes, I'm using the specific definition. So we need like contact and something else. I'll tell you in a second. And it has to be in accordance to the reality that we are in now. So I get it that you want some answer to be there, but to me, what it claims is that we really can't measure the truth of it or have like one thing to really know what happened there. Because again, that main thing, the contact, we weren't there. Now, not because we weren't there, meaning we can't really figure it out, but we can see it. If there was an ultimate truth, everyone would know this, right? And I know this truth. But I think a lot of times on these panels, when Roan tries to explain his worldview, it's like a lot of believers want it to have like a story, like a name, like what is this purpose, like a specific story. And that's why, and that's how religion was coined in the first place, persons trying to figure out that, thing. So, yeah, I don't.
I'll ask you some questions because you brought up some really interesting stuff.
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, Prince.
So also, I just realized I don't be saying yes, sir to people. Like I didn't say yes, sir to Ron. Or Ron. That's rude. I'm gonna work on that. But
yeah, whatever you speak to be, say sir.
Yeah, yes, sir, Coco. Yes,
no
sir.
kidding.
So you mentioned like just now that if there was an absolute truth that all people would know about, that all people would know it. Who said that?
Like, no, I'm just saying, like, if there was, we would already, like, really kind of, like, have it. It would be, like, a known fact, and that we can say, okay, we use this method to go to it. Like, say, for instance, I'm trying, somebody give me an example of, like, a fact. I don't know, but it's there. We can use methods to test it over.
Laws of logic and fact.
I'm talking, like a fact. I'm not talking, like that. But it's like we can test it over and over, and we can arrive at this thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying anyone said that. I'm just saying if there was this thing, then we could have had like a method where
But who said we have the method? What if it takes like another couple hundred years? Like
right, that's what I'm saying. We don't know it right now, so I'm not gonna create a story around it because I just don't know it right now.
I just think the presupposition that if there was, well, because you said if there was an absolute truth, people would have access to it. But I don't see the
I get what you're saying there. Thank you.
Okay, word. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting that I wanted to ask you, which you mentioned contact, and then I know you said there's some other rules, but would you consider, so science would be contact with repeatable evidence? That's what you would consider it? And so that's how you know
it's not science. I was using a specific definition. That's why I was I'm doing science in itself has a different meaning. Like I take words for their meaning and then I look at it for what it is and so forth. So I essentially don't make up my own meaning for words and so forth. So like science would be something like completely different. But let me tell you the word that I wanted to. I had it up here, but now I can't find it. But yeah, it requires contact, but science in itself is a different definition.
I don't know. It just sounds to me like, based on what you and Ronan said, like it sounds like you guys just navigate the world and your experience is your truth. Other people have truths. You can learn from their truths and develop your truth. And there is a truth. Am I still making you correctly?
Yeah, but for right now, because you did correct me, and I love that. But for right now, we don't really have we don't know it yet.
I mean, to me, that sounds like the way that most people navigate the world is when I interact with people, I can take truths from their subjective experience. The only difference between me and you is I don't want to straw man you. Either you don't have access to the absolute truth, or there is no absolute truth. Whereas I would hold that there is an absolute truth. That's the only difference.
I think there is like there, and when I say truth, it's about being in accordance to like reality. So when I say truth, it's not like dependent on like a specific story. I'm talking about like now that I can see again like the relationship between us with each other, animals, and Mother Earth. So I think like that's the truth that like that's what we can like see and know and observe, you know. Yeah. So that would be
You a physicalist or idealist? I'm sorry, I just
no, I think exegetic is is the best word to say. I take things for what they are.
believe. Does your mind, does your consciousness ultimately reduce to brain activity?
I
Or
would
is there
say
a person inside of your, like, is there you inside of the meat set?
Yeah, that's why you have inner monologue.
wait,
I didn't hear you. Can you please repeat that?
that wasn't me, but I didn't catch you. That's yeah, I didn't.
You, go ahead, Raven. Go ahead, Raven. And I'll answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have an inner monologue. Not
Wait, Raven.
everybody
I
has
think.
an inner monologue.
Wait, I'm sorry, Raven. Wait. Let can you ask the question so I can catch up while you
Nah,
answer?
that did help. Thank you, Raven. And I was
Yeah.
asking, do you believe that your brain, the activity, the who you are, the person experiencing this stuff, does that reduce to just brain activity, or is there a substance within you that is you?
I think it does reduce to brain activity, but I think there are influences because like it we can still like narrow it down to all right, and I'm gonna use my personal experiences and so forth. So there's a chemical imbalance that will affect my mood and so forth. And to me, it's just reduced to brain activity. But I do believe different things will influence different people. As Raven said, like, yeah, not everyone has that internal thing in them. So I think it's still reduced to just brain activities for right now that I could tell. But I do believe that different things influences like different people.
You want to live? That's it.
I would think so.
Oh, okay. Or so then maybe you're considered a physicalist, but maybe you should do some research.
I don't mind if people want to label me really, unless you want to label me a believer, then I say no. But yeah, you can. What I say is like I'm exegetic. I take
Well, I
it
was
for
asking because when you talk about like these subjective truths, one thing that's always really interesting to me is the hard problem of consciousness. How we
Is
can't.
it? I didn't even know that was a problem for physicalists. Like, it seems like
Oh, I'm not a
truth is just
physicalist. No,
no.
I'm
That's what
not a
I'm saying. Like,
physicalist.
I don't understand how that's like a critique of physicalism or
No,
like.
not of physicalism, but just that, like, even physical. Well, first of all, I don't believe physicalism has a good definition for what is physical, given the problem of consciousness. But then let's grant, like, whatever definition that they give. I don't believe physicalism has a good reduction for consciousness. Like,
You don't
we can
believe it can just
say
be
it's
like a product
neuronal,
of like our physical brains
that it's
responding.
emergent, yeah, but that would just
Yeah.
be radio signal. Where did the song lyrics come from?
Yeah, no, I guess I can see that.
You get what I'm saying? And so then I feel like that
I
opens the
would just
door
argue
for
that
like
the
this
song
secondary
lyrics are.
substance.
I would argue
Yeah,
that the song lyrics are just also an emergent property too.
yeah, that's like that inner monologue that you have. Whoever is speaking to you, you're not gonna hit a random voice. It's you. It's whatever inner monologue that's in you that's interpreting what talking to you or whatever. That's what that is.
Oh, he left. I know he said he wanted to get back to the prompt, so I hope I wasn't like distracting too much.
I think so because he was actively like conversing with you. So
Thank you for
Don't
answering,
leave
Chloe.
me.
I
Me, what
appreciate
no
it.
happened?
problem.
What's the name, Mr. Love?
Oh, mister? Why?
Oh,
No, work.
I don't know.
Happened because he was like actively like talking. So I don't know.
Phone call. I
Oh.
don't know.
Oh, I do want to make something clear.
But okay.
This panel is not for me to
Convert.
demonize your beliefs
Oh,
or It's just
Unless you're
I mean,
omnist.
when people, oh, whatever, wrong. When just like okay, since you want to put yourself out there, just like you could critique or try to, do all the things with Christianity, I think we do the same thing. We could do the same thing with Arminianism. If we find something that don't make sense, I think if you feel the same thing, if you do the same thing with Christianity, it's just like that. You see how you was getting all uptight, it's like, nah, that ain't what it is. That ain't. And when we tell y'all, nah, that ain't what it is, it really don't be that. But y'all be like, it is.
It's definitely not
But
the same thing.
it's the same. It definitely is the same thing.
Ron,
It's definitely not the same thing.
did
It's
you hear what
by
I
far
said
the
about?
same.
But
Did
we're
you
not
hear what I
gonna
said?
make it back on wrong.
Oh, my bad.
Actually has me thinking too. Like I have never really like looked at myself in that like kind of box. So now I'm like looking at it and it's kind of like I'm thinking about it. I wanna about like physicalism and stuff. And he was asking me about it, and
Oh,
I'm like
Prince.
thinking about
Oh, you talking about Prince? You had a conversation.
yeah. And I think
Okay.
the answer that I gave is it kind of reduces to that. But then I'm starting to look at experiences that I've had, and now I'm like, I don't know. But I'll tell you that I won't make up or attribute it to like this specific religion or a story, but it is something to really think about. And Raven, you probably know me. I talk about like look at dopey and there's something this. So now me I start think back and me I say, what could I really go on this song?
Wow.
And
Oh,
I
the
know that
accents are coming out. It's
uh,
crazy.
but I don't know. Like I think like sometimes persons around you will influence that, but
Make you feel,
sometimes
yeah.
yeah, but sometimes you're there by yourself and it's like, whoa, me feel a heat here, me feel the bed dip. So I don't know. So I'm gonna think about it, and yeah, I'm gonna follow you, Prince. I may come back with this conversation, but thank you.
I be on Coco's panels pretty often, so you can just always stop by there. We could talk.
Okay, period.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I have experience.
You guys need to come over to debate TikTok.
Coco, let me debate you right now. Like, what the frick?
Oh no, please don't.
Come on, let's go. I'm sick of this. Let's go. Come on, come
Wait.
on.
I
Give me
didn't
your
mean that
best
as
shot.
an insult.
Give it to me. Go, go, go.
Ready for the pasta, she ready.
I got you. Premise one. Trust me, bro. Premise two. God is true. Premise three. Trust me, bro. Again.
Come on now,
Conclusion.
Prince.
God is true.
What is X? If X doesn't mean X, then R doesn't mean R, and Y isn't
Trust me,
even
bro.
Y.
It's hilarious.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just believe me, man. Just believe me.
Oh God. But no, I didn't mean the last thing as an insult, but like the debate side of TikTok is awesome. It's extremely fun.
So why don't we talk about what me and you were talking about?
Sure.
So just to inform the panel, we were talking about, I believe it was Judges, like Judges 19, I think, where the guy was traveling with his concubine and she gets raped by the town to the point of unalivement. Then the guy finds her the next morning, cuts, I don't even know what I can say on TikTok, makes her body into multiple parts and sends them to the 12 tribes.
Don't say nothing on TikTok nowadays.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I know there's one other Christian and then you, Lena, but
Oh, yeah. Okay. So like, yeah, the other day I was taking notes on like the different like infanticide and also like rape that happens in the Bible. And I guess like the creator in the video who was talking about it, I guess they were saying like, oh, there's bad things in the Bible. Me, like, I guess the way I see the Bible is like, it's like what God commands of his people, but also like sometimes it's also just like history. Like it's saying like, oh, people did bad things. So like, and yeah, like whenever I took notes on like all the different, someone sent me something and like I took notes on all the different like rape and infanticide in the Bible. I recognized that a lot of them weren't really commanded by God. So it was more like a history telling of like, yeah, these people did atrocious things. But then I guess like, I mean, somebody who's running the problem of evil could like ask the question like, okay, well, just like today, right? God saw some of his best prophets doing like horrific things, why didn't God like step in and be like, whoa, you guys are going off track a little bit. Like, we probably shouldn't do this. But yeah, I think that was like where our conversation went.
Prince, can I just ask one question to Coco, please?
Yeah.
What I don't want to get you off track with how y'all was just gonna go, but I just to be like real quick. So like Coco, like how do you see God? Like what is your, when you hear God, what is your imagination going to?
I imagine some metaphysical being that like is all good, all loving, just, and all powerful, omnipresent, and all that stuff. But given these attributes, you would want like what's best for humanity, and is probably trying to accomplish the best outcome for humanity.
Okay. So you just mentioned something. You said that at this moment it would be like, whoa, like what are you guys doing here? Do you find him to be like, you want him to be kind of like not spirit, but excuse me, like human form, like type stuff, like not spiritual?
Well, like I think like the Bible sort of already like describes him as that, right? Like there are moments where like God steps in and says like, hey, halt, we probably shouldn't be doing this. And then there are other times where God kind of just like watches what humans are doing and like allows like bad things to happen. And I mean, I think like Christians often say like, you know, do you want God to step in every single time? And I'm like, I don't really see the problem in that. Like, why doesn't he? Why isn't
what
God
if he
like
unalived you?
I mean, yeah, but like, to be
Like,
honest,
what if when you was a little kid and like your mom said, don't go do that, and you did that, and you just boom, gone, and your mama just got an unalived kid now? Like, then what?
Also, like that's another thing that throws me off about God. Like one of the things is that God sees all sin as the same. And it's kind of like, well, should murder be on the same level as like I tell my girlfriend that she doesn't look fat in that dress? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but God didn't create us to be robots. Like he didn't, like we're not robots.
He's gonna do that anyways. He's gonna perfect the you know, his people and the thing before y'all ascend up, right? So why doesn't he do that now and save himself the trouble? He doesn't have to intervene every single time, but he could just like perfect that thing.
So that would go against the reason that he created.
What stopped? So what just stopped the whole thing of them going back and forth doing all the things, right? I seen there was contention. I felt like, okay, maybe I need to step in and I need to stop this whole conversation. Like, if we want to talk about the character of God and we see what in the Bible that he moves through what? People.
yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
He moves through people all the time. If we're going to accept who the character is, we got to know what the character does. The character moves through people. I literally had to step in and say, hey, let us change this subject. Let us get it, And after seeing people about the freaking go insane in a sense and the way that it was going, no, we got to change this a bit. Right?
So I was the host and I did that. I don't believe in it. What would be moving through me? The same God still?
Yo, at the end of the day, I think
he could still use you if you don't believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, people don't want to believe that.
I got you. No, I just want to understand. Sorry.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like a lot of people will say, no, that was me, right? And you can say that was you. You can say, because if I think God is love. So if you want to see like love, if you want to see like more, like something different, then you don't think that he could use you? Like,
you literally couldn't have love without the existence of God. So when you're a non-believer, like, and obviously you don't grant our paradigm, right? Because I know you're going to say, well, that's not true. But like when you experience love, like granted our paradigm, that is literally you having an experience with God. You just don't think so.
Okay, I can understand what you're saying, but look at it. You all right? So he's using people right now to intervene, but it's not working so good because there's still people like it's not so So
Opposition.
my question would be like, if he's gonna like perfect it, at the end, why don't he perfect it now? But I guess I think Marcus answered by saying, the plot, it goes against the plan or whatever. But yeah, and even to Prince, say for instance, if I have to be unalive for like actually the greater good, and I'm not talking about like the weird stuff, because that's why I say don't let bro plan, because if he's a leader and he's gonna kind of use these little things, then I'll be a little scared, because I know that if I don't do exactly what he says, no matter how heinous it is, and goes against my, fellow human beings and the nature of the earth, and fruitfulness and stuff, then I'm gonna be struck. But if it's in a way where it's like looking out for like the greater good of like the actual earth that I mentioned before and how it works with us all, then I'd be fine. Because if I'm doing something that's gonna affect it, oh man.
Can we like run a thought experiment real quick?
Yeah, definitely. I do those. I do thought experiments. The last one that I did, it was like trying to see if they were God. If anybody was God, like how would you want the world to be created? But I accept
No,
those.
I love
Yeah,
doing that
yeah,
one.
I love thought
That's
experiences.
fun. I just think so like anytime people ask me this question, because like I've been doing apologetic debates for about like 6 months now, and like atheists love to ask the question like, would you put a baby in a blender or unalive your best friend or whatever if God told you, right? Like some loaded question. And like, of course, like my natural reaction is like, no, I would never do that. Like I don't want, me personally, I don't want to. But then like, let's genuinely run the thought experiment. Like God, like whatever you imagine God as, just some magnificent, crazy being appears in front of you, makes you drop to your knees, gives you all the knowledge possible that you doing this act that you don't want to do, or at least didn't want to do before, is the best thing for you to do. You're telling me you still wouldn't do it?
How would it be like the best thing though? Like if it's the best thing for survival, for survival, then I'll do it. But it wouldn't be sincere as how believers say he wants it, because I'm just gonna be there like kind of out of fear. Like yeah, I'm a probably try to bring. I don't have kids, so not my cat, not my baby, but somebody. I'll bring somebody I love up there or whatever. But it's like I'd be doing that out of fear. I'd be nervous, even though I'll be hoping, like, I hope he's gonna put that ram in the bush and say psych, but then I'm gonna still be worrying, like, shit, how's Isaac gonna feel? Like stuff like that, like how that person's gonna feel and so forth. So I like, what do you mean, like, if that's genuinely
Let's use the Amalekites. Let's say that you were one of the people that he sent there, and he appeared in front of you specifically because you're the only person in the whole village that had a problem with it. So he appeared in front of you specifically, and he gave you the knowledge that if you don't do this, because the Christian apologetic is always going to be like, well, do you know what the Amalekites were doing? Blah, blah, blah. So let's just grant that he gave you foreknowledge that if you don't do this heinous act, the Amalekites will continue doing that for like 1,000 years, sacrificing children, so on and so forth. Would you then do it?
like, then I'd be like, kind of be like, can you, because this is an all-powerful being we're talking about. I'm gonna be like, Daddy G, like, can't you just like change something in their hearts, like what you did to Pharaoh? Can you like do the opposite, and like make them a little different?
Pause. Wait. Hold on. You remember when who did that? Who always plead to him when he like not plead but like kind of intercede? That's what be happening in the Bible when they say, "Oh, ain't he all knowing?" Like he be really, people be really interceding on other people's behalf in a sense, because it's just how can I say? I think it's more of a relation rather than anything else. Like it's just relational.
I get that with what Prince is saying, like for instance, he came to me like specifically and said that like I would like, because I like to think things through, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, Big G, like, can you look at this plan that I have right here? Like, You know what I'm saying? Like, I would try to do that. And if that's what he says to do, I'm going to be like, I see you have the power. I see where you could do this, but I'm going to just do it. But now I'm going to do it because, like, it's just like you're this all
Could
powerful
even
person
grant that
over
that's
me.
not bad though. Like Jesus, who we claim is God, did the same thing. He was crying and sweating literally blood, and he begged God. He said, if there's any way up for you to do this otherwise, please take this cup from me. But
Yeah, but
there
that's
was
the
no other
thing.
way.
If I'm serving him, that would be
Exactly.
because I'm afraid. Because if all right, look at Onan. If I say, hey, I don't want to go on the battlefields, like send somebody else to do it, he gonna strut me down like he did Onan. And it's like, okay, it's a bad thing for him, but it's like there are other alternatives that could like lessen bloodshed and so forth. But if he absolutely does want to take that route for whatever reason, then it won't be genuine where I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm gonna be like, Big G, like you could have done okay, but cool.
I
But
think
I'm
one
not
thing
gonna
that
do
you're
it.
kind of, I'm sorry that I keep interrupting you too.
No, you're
I'm
good.
used to debates, so we tend to
Yeah,
like argue more than talk. But
and I don't like to talk over people, so I'm just gonna shut up too. So
my bad. I'll try and work on
you're
that.
good. You're good.
Like one thing that I feel like you're kind of leaving out is like if you're granting our paradigm, like I think you're thinking about yourself at the moment. But like if a perfect, and you got to remember like God is all knowing. So when you say like, oh, I could have this other plan, like I'm gonna be like, oh, you could have did it another way. It's like, yeah, maybe we would think that, but God is all knowing and he's perfect. So it means if he did it that way, I don't want to say this in a way that would inevitably fall into modal collapse, but like there, this was the best way. Were there other ways? Yes, but this was the best way.
But all right, so we can look at that, right? All right, remember, he's all knowing, so he all knows all the ways. But I'm just bringing this one way where he could do what he did to Pharaoh in opposite. Because again, he has the power. He can still change the plan up and still get the same outcome. Because if his outcome is to stop what they were doing or whatever, so, for years to come, they don't do this and do that, then we could have like changed their hearts and now they won't feel like they want to do all those harsh
Yeah, I
things.
don't grant that because if those things didn't happen, me and you wouldn't be here. Like quite literally.
I wouldn't really care about that for real. If that means that everything's gonna be nice and peach and
So it would be
everybody
more
lives,
copacetic for those people, but then me and you wouldn't exist.
and that's okay. That's fine.
That
Like
could be
just like
something that you're okay with. You can
yeah,
think that
that's
that's
true.
okay.
That's
But
true. Like
God being all knowing, if it's true, he decided that this was better.
I
That
don't know. Like
me and your existence was better, and our existence deterministically couldn't have happened without the priors.
and I get that, but I'm not. I don't want to be. I'm not like. I don't want to say selfish to make it sound like you are or other persons are. But I want to use a better word. You could find one, but I usually use selfish. But it's like, if it's gonna make everyone else like be better. Like for me, I like to puff a lot. I puff a lot, and if say for instance we live in
Oh
a
yeah.
place, it affects the environment, the thing that comes out. It affects your lungs and whatever, my personal thing. And if I'm looking at the grand scheme of how the universe works to protect us, and if I'm not doing my part to protect it and I decide that I don't want to stop to do it, kick me out. If I'm going to go against, like stuff like that, then kick me out.
And I don't think you have a problem with the Bible.
I do have a problem with the Bible.
You just said
That God
Yeah,
could kill
is
you
this
if
granted
I
that
anytime.
you
said
have knowledge?
I'm saying if, but we've seen in the Bible where like I'm telling you, like look at my plan versus his plan in the Bible. He
Uh-huh.
could have done that and it could have worked out. He's all
But how do you
powerful.
know that? You not all knowing.
But what could have changed? It would have still be the same outcome that
I
he wanted
mean,
in the first place,
you're
right?
a determinist, I would assume, right? Like you believe that things couldn't have, like me and you wouldn't exist if our parents and their parents, blah, 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 didn't
Yeah.
exist. Okay. If that's true, and if the biblical timeline is true, because I think we're doing an internal critique, then
Yeah.
those events had to happen that way in order for me and you to exist.
But what's so significant? Like, I don't know. Like, if I have a big purpose, he could like just make me be born differently. Like, I don't see why that was necessary, like for the plot, unless it's like just like this big movie. Like he's recording stuff or something. But it's like, if we're
It
being
kind of is. Like sometimes I talk to people like that.
hey, and if it's so,
Because
then
you got to
like that's
realize God
wild.
literally could do whatever, but he
Yeah.
designed this so that people could willingly choose to come to him or not, and so that he overcomes evil. I feel like that's a part that a lot of people like leave out. Like God could have gotten rid of evil. He wants and deserves all the glory. And so as such, he will overcome it in his
But he's
perfect
gonna
time.
have to perfect it in the end, though. It's not like we're gonna naturally, because of this plot, come to it. At some point, when in this worldview is gonna come down, and he's gonna like try to tweak something that makes these set of people not even want to think about these things anymore, and they'll be like wanting to just do this one thing over. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what is it? If you're gonna say it's for the plot, like, wild, that's crazy, because we're talking about people with emotions and feelings here and consciousness. So that's wild to me. But if that's what you're gonna say, it doesn't make it good. Because again, I can see it. It's still gonna be the same outcome. So it's, unless you're gonna say I'm gonna mix up the plot, but stop making something happen because you don't want to mess up the plot is kind of wild.
I kind of think like, I guess that's a perspective, but like my perspective is that like it's kind of beautiful that like this plot in the way that you use it, like this movie will play out the way that it does, and it led to me and your existence. And like I don't want to talk for your life. I've had some pretty like crappy things happen in my life, but like for the most part, it's been pretty blessed. Like I'm sitting in front of a gaming console right now. That's beautiful. Like I get to walk outside to my car. That's beautiful. The earth is beautiful. You get what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of great things that me and you get to experience given the negatives. And there's a lot of things that me and you know now that people before didn't know before those negatives.
And I get that, but yeah, I enjoy the things in front of me right now, because like this is what we have right now to make us happy. But honestly, if we had like no and so forth, like in that purest state where we try to love the earth as how it loves us, I'd be okay too. I'd look to enjoy the things that are out there. Even say I didn't exist, like he would have the knowledge to know that, that I would, my consciousness must, according to that worldview, if he knows everything before, my consciousness would have to been out there. So he wouldn't have to put me in a body in order to bring me to
Ooh,
that
that's where I gotta
perfection.
disagree. I'm sorry. I interrupted. It's so rude.
No, you
I gotta catch you.
okay,
So
tell me.
that's like a kind of a mistake in our paradigm, because if we always existed, then like we would like there would be no need for God. So like we can't use temporal language, at least in my paradigm, when we're talking about like heaven and creation, because that would be outside of our system of time. But then like in order to use temporal language, I just always say that like God is in like God time. Like the same way like your game has a temporal field when it's active and not active when it's off, right?
God's in B theory of time.
Well, technically, God would be outside of B theory of time. I view B
Wait.
theory of time as like a cube with the relations inside of them, and God instantiated that cube,
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
right? And so then there's probably like some other cube outside of that God like exists in. I don't know. Like then that's where it gets confusing, and I don't want to bite any bullets. But
that makes sense.
God has to be the necessary cause, the primary instantiator. So he must have existed. Like it's weird because one thing that I learned about the Bible is the word that they use when they say like outside of time or eternal, like in their language, the word eternal literally means outside of time. And so they're basically just saying like we can't use temporal words to describe this character. So this being outside of our system of time existed before our system, outside of our system of time, and then Jesus was begotten of that being, and the Holy Spirit was begotten of that being, and then those three beings created our consciousness. Sorry, that was a yap session.
I don't know if I'm not tracking, maybe, but like, aren't we like predestined? So wouldn't our consciousness like still not exist, but he would be aware of all the possibilities and all the
Yes. Yes, technically. Like, I get what you're getting at. I don't know how to articulate it correctly because, like, the way that you said it, there's problems with it. I don't mean to be rude, but like,
No,
there's
tell me.
there's problems with the way that you just said. She shrunk it. So like we could talk more in depth about this, like in the DMs or in Coco's live or whatever.
What
Sure.
you got? What I gotta do
Are
with it?
are you sure? Because I don't know like how
No,
long
I'm
you gonna be
good. I
live.
mean, I'll
All
be
right,
shutting
then.
down in a minute, but I'm good.
I just don't know
Yeah,
how long we got to like yap about all this, like, because there's so
y'all
much
good,
history that
bro.
has to go into
How many?
No, you good. But this kind of like just brings me back because he's setting up this system, right? He's like setting up this he's like setting up this system, right? So if and if he's like all powerful, like he has like all that power, right? So he's the one setting up this system. So if you're gonna say like it has to happen, it really don't because he's choosing it based on the text. It would be like him choosing this reality that he wants to pursue.
it has to be him choosing. Otherwise, it reduces to modal collapse. Whereas in like it's necessary that he created this universe this way, and then it's like, well, God doesn't have free will then. So he did, like the way that I would express this or explain this would be like, so art is subjective, but there is like, because beauty is going to be grounded in the nature of God, there's going to be an objective beauty. There's going to be an objective perfection. But you can instantiate perfection in different ways. I can compose a perfect piano song and it'd be just as beautiful as a perfect keys song or a perfect saxophone solo, right? All of those would be equally perfect, equally beautiful, but expressed in different ways. So
Wait,
God,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, you said something. Everybody gonna be saved in the end. Like everybody gonna be saved, even if they don't believe.
Even if they don't believe, they will profess.
They will.
But what was I saying? Damn it,
No, you said they will what?
they will profess.
What that mean?
They will profess his name out loud. That Jesus Christ is Lord.
No, you said saved.
I'm sorry, you gotta like let me know what you're talking about.
Hold
I'm
on
a
right
little
quick.
slow.
You said that everybody gonna be saved in the end. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay. So can you help me out? Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's scripture. So when you break down the Hebrew, the fire that they're always talking about, the Hebrew word, it's the same word that they use for metallurgy or like refining metals. So it's kind of hard to differentiate. And then like there's other arguments too where it's like all will confess that he is Lord. They will bow their knee and confess that he is Lord. And the verbiage that they use when they use confess, it specifically means like express happily, like they exclaim it. And you can't exclaim that Jesus is Lord without the Holy Spirit. And so there's like those two main arguments, which is basically that in the end, all people will receive the Spirit if they exclaim that Jesus is Lord. Like we know that people will say that Jesus is Lord, whether they will say it or exclaim it, who knows? If they exclaim it, then it is necessary that they receive the Spirit. If you receive the Spirit, you're saved. And then there's this argument that the hellfire will be a refining process for people, for the angels, the fallen angels, and the enemy. I've heard both.
So I'm confused. This hamburger. So Matthew, I think it's 25. It tells us about the sheep and the goat who will be going to the everlasting fire and stuff like that. What you think about that verse?
Yeah, actually, you brought up another one in Matthew too. I think it was 17. You be bringing up some good verses, and I went and looked, and like you can go check yourself on the Strong's Concordance. Every
Look at Zay.
usage. What is the Strong's Concordance?
No, we're talking to Zay in the comments.
Every usage of the word fire, it's gonna be the word that's used for metallurgy or refining. So like to me it seems like a refining fire that they will be sent to, but what happens, like I don't know. Maybe it'll be eternal, maybe they'll be refined. I'm hopeful that they'll be refined.
But see, this one he said depart from me. Like this one ain't
Yeah,
no.
I think they'll be forced to depart, enter the fire, be refined. Cause like ultimately, like this kind of goes along with what Chloe was talking about with like the plot. Like the whole purpose is that God deserves all the glory, right? Like we all concede to that as Christians. God ultimately deserves the glory. And so if I personally, as an imperfect being, and like many others, believe that it's just more glorifying for God to save all His creation.
That's right, Zay. You are refined during sanctification. We are going through a sanctification process while we're here on earth.
Yeah, I just don't see where the Bible
I think we all
specifies. I don't see where the Bible specifies that like being healed is limited. Like I think that contradicts the qualities of God. God, like Jesus came to heal. Jesus came to heal the communion for all time. And I think like it makes more sense that God would want to continue to heal. Right? I mean, that makes sense. That's a decent argument.
Even the enemy he needed to heal.
Somebody bring Marcus back.
Not that he needs to, but I think that he could if he wanted to.
Oh,
like,
no, Marcus, I meant Corey.
I think it's more glorifying.
No, don't bring no Corey.
I don't know. I don't think that's
we all agree on the same thing.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm not gonna lie. I used to say the same thing, but in scripture, Jesus says that there will be like differences in separate churches, even among the Christians. Like, we're not guaranteed to believe all of the exact same doctrine as long as you affirm that Jesus Christ died for your sins and defeated death, and you believe
the way they was treating Kyra.
What'd you say?
I said not the way they was treating Kyra a couple hours ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did hear the beginning part of that.
No, Kyra. Okay, so what?
Me and Kyra was talking earlier too in the DMs, and
I think the thing of it is with that, it's just that he was just trying to say that she was saying that it was some form of truth. It was some form of truth in Islam, but she was trying to tell him that it was. She don't believe that. He kept going to that fact. That's the thing. That's what the issue kept going at. He kept telling her, oh, you believe in Islam? You said Islam has some truth, and I'm like, she didn't say
Yeah,
that.
because like if you believe, I get what he was saying though. He was saying if you believe in Jesus, you can't. It contradicts because Jesus himself said those things. And, like
Yeah.
I get it, but I also understand what you were saying. Like try not to force those things on people. I said earlier, me and her were talking about. She put something on her story that Paul was misogynistic, so we've been going pretty in depth on that. And I was just like, it doesn't really make sense to me that like you yourself claim you're a believer, and then like I can pull up this evidence that like is supported by consensus, and you just say no, that's not true. Like, do you want Paul to be misogynistic?
This is what we talking about. I think it's certain. What I'm talking about agreement is that okay. This is crazy. This is why I'm saying it's always due for the Father of revelation, bro. People be thinking. That's why it's so much going on. Like it's only one spirit. Like it's for real. Like it's only one spirit. So at the end of the day, how you get to that spirit is how you get to that spirit. That's all I can say.
Lena,
I
how do
agree.
you feel about claim? My bad, Ron, if I interrupted you. You can go
No,
first.
you can. No, I just said I agree.
Okay. How do you feel about claims about like authorship of certain books? One of the arguments I made to her was like, I still went in depth on the text. I think it was 1 Timothy 12, 2:12. And, but like, I was just like, that book consensus, like scholarly consensus is that it wasn't written until between 2nd century and 600. So between, 100 and 600. That wasn't the time of Paul's writings. So like Paul didn't write that. That was probably just added later on. Feel about like some of those arguments. I know that there are some Christians, probably most Christians would just say, we don't care what no one says. The Bible is the Bible and it's God inspired, and the people who they say wrote the Bible. And then there's like some people like me or like some friends that I have that, we do research on some of the like original texts and the authorship on it. And we'll say, yeah, like we affirm these parts of the Bible, but this part, I'm not so sure. There's evidence that it came out later than the other texts.
Yeah, so I'm even doing some like my own little research, and like I'm even finding out like in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis, it's the Yahwistic text or the Yahwist text or the priestly text, and then it's like you got different traditions going on or whatever. And people are like those people in that time, they were still in the same region, but they was not experiencing, but they was like being still given revelation from the Father. I think the end goal is it's not like, how can I say this? No, first I need to ask you a question, Prince. So because I haven't really got up on Paul yet. I know I keep saying Paul, but it's been stuff that I'm trying to like do before I get to Paul. So what okay, who said something, who wrote Paul, like Paul's version of like the
Well, the person, the author with the title Paul wrote multiple things. So the author Paul, we'll just call him Paul, wrote 2 Timothy, the book Paul, and part of Acts. And then people think that the author Paul wrote Hebrews. We're still unsure. My opinion is that the author Luke wrote Hebrews. It seems more like there's multiple mentions of the text that they have, and like it seems like they're describing like meetings that they saw or discussions that they heard rather than first person experience.
dang. So
Sounds familiar, Tarisha?
what?
Sounds familiar, Tarisha?
Is that your opinion too, bro?
The conversation me
I
and
tell her
Ron
this
had
a
on
lot.
the panel. No, we had that conversation on your panel one time,
Yeah,
and
we
I
did have
asked
this
you about
conversation.
like, well, I actually, was that about Paul or was that about Yahusha words? I think it was about Yahusha words. It wasn't.
It probably was both.
I thought it was with Yahusha words because I was like, you know how you was telling me that you believe what some of the words that I was just trying to. Oh, you said that you didn't think he was a real real person. So then I was asking you like, okay, so if you don't believe he's a real person, but you do take some of the teachings to be like
Well,
some kind of truth. That's when I was asking you that.
I made a distinction between the theological Jesus and the historical Jesus. But I was saying that like the things that you can date back in terms of the historical Jesus can be seen with like certain sayings that are repeated
throughout the canonical gospels and even some of the gospels that weren't considered authentic or canonical, but still held a sense of that like consistent either story or reference of teaching. So like when I was telling you about the mustard seed, whenever he would talk about that, or when he talked about the kingdom of heaven, those two specific teachings that you can at least know for sure that the historical Christ was actually bringing that according to like his earliest followers.
Yeah, so when I even think about all these scriptures, like now I don't really know about that, Prince. I would have to like do more research about what you're saying right now. Cause wait, what scripture you brought up first? 2 Timothy and what?
Yeah, it was First Timothy.
Oh, first.
So she brought up that Paul was misogynistic because of First Timothy, but the evidence shows that First Timothy came out much later than the accredited author Paul's writings, right? And so when we look at the writings in Corinthians, I forgot Corinthians. And when we look at the writings like in Acts and Corinthians, and then when did Paul, is it in Paul that Paul mentions the 500 witnesses? That's neither here nor there.
That is in 1st or 2nd Corinthians.
Corinthians. Okay, so in Corinthians and in Acts, he mentions multiple times that he doesn't follow the patriarchy and that he respects the character of women. So for you to take this verse that not only in First Timothy is it talking about like the Jewish culture at the time and this specific event that was happening at this one church, but it doesn't even look like it was actually written by Paul. So how could you make the claim about this one person's character?
Dang, so who said it was written by Paul though? Oh, the people.
Church. When who made the canonized Bible? Was it the Council of Nicaea? Yeah, so at the Council of Nicaea, they determined it was Paul.
Wait, not the Council of Nicaea.
It's not?
No, the Council of Nicaea was to determine the divinity of Christ.
Yep.
So you get like by the time you got to the 4th century, majority of like at least the Orthodox version or part of the Christian communities kind of had some form of a canon. I believe the earliest person who created a New Testament canon, as controversial of a Christian figure he was Marcion. But they had a sense of like all coming together to come to an agreement of their narrative or story. But I think when you get to the Council of Carthage is when you start to have like an official canon of the New Testament, if I'm not mistaken.
What's your opinion on Marcion and his writings, Ron? Because I know like CBJ or Christ Before Jesus, like his opinion is that this character Paul and mostly Marcionites like influenced the church more when it comes to the canonization of the Bible. What's your take on it? Because a lot of the Marcionite writings that we have, they don't seem similar. Like they share like truths, but like the writing style isn't the same. Some of the things they talk about isn't the same.
What I found to be interesting was that he's the one that kind of stands out to me the most on a radical level, because Marcionism was, I won't say it was popping, but it was in competition with different parts of like the Christian churches or like community and stuff like that. So like he had a big amount of influence because of his background, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his father, according to traditions, had like connections with one of the disciples or something like that. But he had a bit of like that type of influence, and on top of that, he was that man had money, so he had a couple coins in his pocket, so he had the sense to, I guess, like fund and have that type of influence in different parts in the Christian world and stuff like that. I'm still looking more into like ancient Christianity, but Marcion is one of the most interesting characters in early Christianity. Only because
the claim is like he sort of was the pockets behind the reproduction, and so as such, like his influence affected the reproduction. But I just don't know how we would see evidence of that. Yeah,
I'm the same way, because I find Marcion to be a very outstanding, a very interesting character. Now, I'm not one to like advocate or pat him on the back or anything, but I always find him, he's so notorious to deny, but he's not too notorious to like
ignore in the Christian, like early Christian history. So when I found out about him and like how he conveyed the Christian narrative and stuff like that, I always thought it was interesting.
I've been seeing arguments for like how, well, I've been making the connection between Marcion and Paul, but like I've been seeing a bunch of arguments of how like this author Paul might, like from anyone who doesn't affirm our paradigm, they would say that this person Paul shaped our religion more than the character of Christ. And so then like I feel like when you do an abductive case and you combine the influence of like, okay, well, because like we know that Paul was the person who was speaking a lot for the early church, especially when it comes to like the claims of Jesus, about when we talk about like the witnesses and Jesus's brother. And so then like a lot rides on Paul's testimony. And then if you take that and then you just mix in a little bit of influence and changing up a little bit of scripture, then we just have like a completely different faith where like, you know, I kind of see these arguments for control. So it's a bit of a slippery slope and I want to make sure like I study it myself.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I was telling you, Darisha. That's what we was talking about. I want to say, I don't know if it was yesterday. It was sometime this week or last week when we was talking about the authenticity of the epistles of Paul. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm trying to look into, like all that stuff. I just
You know, I doubt somebody named Paul existed in Jerusalem. I'll say that. I doubt somebody named Paul existed in Jerusalem at that time. Or I said in Jerusalem, around in the Middle East at that time. But
because when we say that, you know, like these things are not like the idea. People was really going off of the idea. Was you saying that wrong? Was you saying like the people was going off of like an idea of Christ and not actually Christ himself? Because that's kind of
So that part. So I think yesterday I was dealing with the different aspects of Christianity, because like Christianity was never like one singular narrative. Now that's not to say like there is like multiple verified like concepts of Christ. But even when I was a Christian, I always thought that was a very interesting idea or concept, because like I remember when I was like, I want to say 15 or 16 years old, and I first heard about the Gospel of Thomas, and I read it, and I was like, wow, this is like genuinely more profound than the other Gospels I grew up
wait,
on.
really? You think so?
Yeah, like when I read the Gospel of Thomas, I thought it was like this was like I'm probably like 15 or 16. And I was like, wow, this is something.
What did you
that's
find profound about it?
It was the way that they broke down well, for one, the different analogies that were put in there, that you really kind of have to think outside of the box, like certain riddles, because I believe the Gospel of Thomas is not like, it's not a story that's really being told. It's more so like a selected form of sayings. And so just hearing or reading into all of that, and the way that he talks about, like he goes more in depth on the kingdom of heaven, where you see like in the book of Luke, he tells the Pharisees, it won't be with observation because the kingdom is within you. He goes further on in Thomas and tells you that the kingdom is inside of you and is also outside of you. He talks about like if it was in the air, the birds would get to it. If it gets in the sea, the fish will get to it.
I'm assuming after you read that, you started doing some research on Gnosticism and the Gospel of Peter.
Bruh, narcissism would have you thinking that it's true. I'm sorry.
You could. So what happened was I didn't study into Gnosticism until I became omnist. So for the, like I said, like I forgot what documentary I was watching, but it was like a documentary that said like, what are the other lost gospels? Like they didn't really even go into Gnosticism, but they were just talking about the different gospels that were found in the Nag Hammadi. But yeah, I didn't get into studying into that until I want to say when I was 21 in college.
Gnosticism, like, bro, it sounds so good on the surface, but then like, I don't know, like especially the Gospel of Peter, I feel like it rides on the Gospel of Peter, and I feel like I find contradictions between Peter and the other gospels, like the canonized gospels, to the point where I'm just like, I wonder how much of this I can trust.
Yeah, that, and then also the Gospel of Judas depicts Judas as a hero, which I chuckle at that because according to the four canonical Gospels, like
Oh, thank you, Marcus.
yeah, according to the Gospel of Judas, like it was some type of secretive plan that Jesus was setting up for his quote unquote crucifixion. The secret book of John is even more interesting. I won't even get into that, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was John or Peter in one of those Gnostic stories where they're like one of the disciples is in a cave watching the crucifixion happen, and Jesus appears right in front of him and like kind of starts laughing because he's thinking that's the real one on the cross, and he's like, "Nah, that ain't me." It's all very
It's
interesting
really
type of story.
interesting, right? And then like I've been having this theory like about his resurrection because there's the confliction between oh my goodness, when he resurrects, who talks about where he was, the two different cities? It's Luke and who else? John, I think.
I think John.
Yeah, I think it's Luke and John.
Are you talking about the one part where he like shows up in front of the disciples? They didn't know who he was.
Yep. Well, not only that, but what I'm specifically talking about is so they say that they were in Jerusalem for 45 days straight, and then that he appeared in another city that's like nearby but far away. I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Wait, give me 1 second. Let me grab my notes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? But like the idea that I've been having is like, well, what if he resurrected in like a spiritual body where like he was tangible in the sense that you could see him, like he wasn't an apparition. So that's why they said that it was a bodily resurrection. But then he could pull off acts like be in two separate cities or appear in front of the person and laugh at the resurrection. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me see. I know you're talking about because I was talking with Sir about it, but let's see. Anything else was okay. So were you talking about how like Mark and Matthew say that the appearance?
Matthew. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Mark and Matthew talk about how the appearances don't start until they reach Galilee.
Yeah.
But Luke mentions no appearances in Galilee, but talks about appearances in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And then when you add one like I think it's the Gospel of Judas, where he says that he's up there laughing at the crucifixion, right?
Yeah. I have to look into that.
The Gnostic texts are very interesting for sure.
But oh no, that's pretty cool, Marcus. I also collect Bibles, despite being a non-believer.
No, those are not Bibles. Those are.
I'm trying to find
like
an old Bible.
commentaries.
I want to hit up a thrift shop and find like an 1870 Bible. That'd be lit.
Like it was like catechisms from the Westminster Assemblies, like man's chief sin. That's where all of those if you listen to like Think or you listen to those guys talk, that's where they get it from, or like what is Reformed theology and stuff like that. Because these men studied Christianity. They were preaching it, but then they like studied theology and came up with everything that we believe. Because a lot of Christianity is in, like what Rome said, it is in our. So I understand why Rome studies it, but because it is in our society, it still dictates our society and not Islam. So.
Oh, okay.
But I like what Lena said earlier about serving, because I don't know who asked it, or who said, why can't God intervene? Well, because God uses people. to intervene. Like he uses people to do good. And I believe that people can do good based off of being used by God. Like if it's, you know, like you see somebody like the Good Samaritan kind of deal, right? You're helping that next person. You're serving at a homeless shelter, or you're serving at a nursing home. You're comforting somebody, giving them something.
Because
But
that's what Yahushua said.
yeah,
He said, when you see these, you see me.
right, exactly. So I do subscribe to that because faith without works is dead. So a lot of people say, like, what are y'all doing? Well, we're doing a lot. You just don't see it.
Interesting. Oh, but I was actually going to argue against that point earlier. I mean, sure, like, I'm not denying the possibility that, like, God could, like, work through people, but I guess that's going to be, like, one of those scenarios where I'm like, okay, what's the symmetry breaker between, like, a naturalistic explanation and, like, a religious explanation?
What's the ontic of the action?
Or,
action good, action from God. Action privation of good, action not from God.
Yeah. Or I have to look up what the word
So, Marcus, was you done saying something? Because I did jump into what you saying. And
I just had I had what you said earlier on my mind because I subscribe to that, the serving and God using you to serve people. Yeah. That's what's helped me to really believe in Christianity, is that serving aspect. Like, because I can talk about Christianity all day long, but if I'm not like serving people, helping people, then my faith is a lie.
Yeah.
And we're servants too. Like, that was one thing that I'm obviously gonna sound crazy to the non-Christians on the panel, but that was like revealed to me recently, that like I have an issue remembering as like a young Christian, is like from the beginning, since Adam and Eve, like we were not really cursed to be servants, but like that was our purpose. That was what we were created for, to be servants to God and ultimately like servants of our neighbors. And so just to remember to like constantly do good.
Well,
My thing is, like, I get it with the intervention and how he's working through some people, but it's like the world is still the world right now. Like, it's just there. Like, when, and I could be just talking for myself. When I say intervene, like, where them fishes and loaves at to feed them hungry right now? Like, where them fishes and loaves at? And to be like, oh, he's working
Right now, you
through.
imagine Jesus somewhere
Oh, wait, let her finish, Prince. Hold on.
type shit.
I don't even think he was. Did you know she was talking Prince? he probably.
He just got excited. That's all.
Yeah, my
I
bad.
think that's all. Go ahead.
Like, when I say, and I guess, yeah, he's using some people to do certain things and so forth. He's still working, but they're innocent people still, like, out there. And I get it. Yeah, it's through sin and this and that, but it goes back, like, he's just letting this play out for what? And where them fishes and loaves at? Like, is it season? Like, what? Where is it at? Like, that would be my thing that I still like look at.
So can you imagine, like, obviously God could do like a million clones of Jesus, right? But like, let's say one Jesus popped up on Africa today with fishes and loaves for everybody.
Hell yeah.
You don't think a giant company with a bunch of bread would get him X'd out immediately?
But I did what?
You don't think they would get him X'd? Somebody who makes money off of fish and bread would get him X'd out immediately?
For feeding, like, people that don't, like, starving nations?
Yes. You don't think that they would get rid of him?
Not by the power of God.
Yeah, like, not...
What? By the power of God, they crucified Jesus. What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Because he
but like
allowed
Jesus,
it to happen. Because if he
Jesus
didn't want
could
that to
have, Jesus could have
happen...
fought back.
Yeah,
You know what? Y'all, hold on.
if
Y'all know
that
what I
wasn't a
thought
part
about?
of the plot, then
Yeah,
it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm
on
saying?
God.
So
What was
Yeah,
all
no
they
pun
eating
intended.
back then? Like, cause they was only eating fish and bread. Like, what else they was eating? Like, well, I know they had probably fruit or whatever. Like, but
That's
still,
pretty
it's
much
like
all they
that was
had.
the main. Yeah, but that was the main freaking. Yo,
Parable.
this is crazy. Like,
I don't know. It's still good to eat, and like for now, like the starving nations now, like
Can you
I
imagine
don't
eating
know.
pizza every day?
I
You
don't
know
care.
what?
I eat
Wait,
fish
Dude, I would
every
eat
in
pizza every
starving
day.
nations, do you know what they do to each other
I
when
mean, just
people
like
like
regular pepperoni and cheese. Hell
when
no.
they
I put a
bring
little
them
different
food? Do you know
seasoning
what
on
they
it. I'd
do?
probably
Because they're
be
starving. So if
Right.
they're yeah, so if they weren't starving in the first place before they went to that brink of
But they're not
starvation,
starving because of Jesus or God.
but I get
And so
that,
then I asked the question, so
but
if they were to come
ultimately,
help,
he created
even
it
though it
like.
wasn't their fault, why should they given the consequences they would experience?
But again, with the power, if he's all powerful, he could just
Look
come
at
down
this
in a little
world. No,
globe.
look at this world. This world is plenty of food. This I understand some regions don't have it.
Right,
And
and he's not working through people enough to,
I'm not saying like I just feel like it's just we got food. Like this ain't no people know how to reproduce. That's why they keep doing it. They keep trying to make more and more food from off the supplements that we do have. Like, I mean, it's plenty of fish in the sea in a sense. Well, they keep going to get the nets
I,
and like
well,
it's.
I just think she means like there are certain places that systemically are impoverished
Oh
or down
no.
bad. So she's just saying like if Jesus
yeah.
wanted to stop by,
So should he
um,
just enter like creative mode so that way like he can't get unalived? Should he
On
enter
God.
creative mode and then be a guy like flying around that doesn't take damage?
Honestly.
Hell
I mean
yeah.
like Santa Claus. I mean,
Because then it's like, well, where's the choice and belief at that point? Then there's a guy who flies around,
somebody
doesn't take
can.
damage, and he gives everyone free, infinite food. Like, there's no belief. He just exists, and that's God.
Well,
It's
I
not
disagree with
Somebody
that.
can
everyone.
make
I
the.
disagree
It's
with
I mean,
that.
they
not
can make.
everyone, just the persons that are like really starving that are being cut off.
I disagree with
Yeah,
that. So when we look in the Bible, right? Like I I don't think Jesus was doing like a miracle a minute, but like Jesus was like, I mean, like if we count all the miracles, like water into wine, bringing Lazarus back from the dead, walking on water, making the blind see, making the lame walk, curing leprosy, multiplying fish and bread to feed thousands, and like still, right? Towards the end of the Gospels, people still turn away from God. They're like, "There's no way he does not exist," right?
Thomas, Peter.
Yeah, so I think like God could do miracles and people would still have the choice to turn away. I mean, like there's some atheists that even say like if I saw God today, I still wouldn't worship him. So like I think the choice would still be there.
Because I sure wouldn't worship him.
I'm
He'd
getting
be a
something. I'm
homie.
getting something for you, Coco. My bad.
Oh, you're good. But I mean, yeah, don't you? But don't you think the choice would still be there? I mean, people saw
At the
like all
end of
those
the day,
things.
yeah, that's true though, Coco. Like the choice is gonna be there, but the choice is just solely up to you, and you don't have like honestly, it's not in His will for anybody to perish. But
I
that's
want you to
just
know, given all the miracles, all of them in the Bible, not just Jesus, it's one miracle every 22.5 million years.
Oh yeah. Like they're spread out. Well,
So
wait. I'm not sure about that. Wait, like
no,
in
no, no,
the Old
not
Testament?
no. I'm saying, given the existence of the earth
Yeah.
and the amount of miracles that happened in the biblical timeline. Now, like if we use like y'all's perspective, I obviously like don't know the biblical timeline. I know some of the events are aligned with events in history, but then other ones we don't know the exact date, right? But let's say like the biblical timeline is anywhere from like 6,000 to 7,000 years. In 7,000 years, 200 miracles happened, and the entire existence of the earth was 4.6 billion years, I think. That equals one miracle every 22.5 million years.
Hmm.
It's
Okay,
pretty
yeah. So
rare.
he's not
Miracles are
doing
a
it
pretty
like
rare occurrence.
yeah, they're pretty rare occurrence. But I would say like I think if God did a miracle and like I mean he did the miracles in the Bible and people were still able to like kind of turn away. Like I think like it wouldn't really affect like choice or like free will.
Yeah,
So
because
that was also like a normal God too. Like I also like in our hypothetical, my bad, Ron, I did interrupt you, but in our hypothetical, like she was saying, like we're talking about today. And like today, like the world is way worse, the poverty is way worse, the aggression is way worse, the greed is way worse. Like Jesus would have to enter creative mode, otherwise somebody would get him marked out for doing the things that he did. And then like a creative mode God flying around giving people infinite food, like I'm truly unsure how many people could like deny that.
Yeah.
well, I mean, even with
Really
the
deny the
it's
existence.
like
Now it's just like the quality now would just be into question, because now we see this person coming down, like displaying these
People
qualities.
just ain't happy.
yeah, because this is what I was telling Darisha. Me and Darisha had a debate about Exodus because I told her Exodus was what, like, after I left Christianity, Exodus is what gave me a very sour taste about God. And we going back and forth on these different stories and stuff. And I just basically was essentially telling her, like, just everything concerning the basis of how, like, he was mistreating the Israelites. And it kind of got around to the same conversation.
Bro, those people would. All right, this is
No, what?
you
Because
said no. Don't
I
do
told
that.
you, because what I told
You
Darisha
sounded
that
like
just because
Eddie
he
on
does
Lifetime.
miracles,
What?
because I said just because that he does miracles doesn't mean that they had a like an intimate relationship. Because like somebody could like do all these different things for me, buy me a car, buy me a house and stuff like, but that doesn't like make it official that me and that individual are like in a very intimate relationship.
You
So
sounded
it's like
like
he did like a lot of miracles, but like he did not build that intimacy with the Israelites like how he
Well,
did
I
with
think that
Moses.
part might be implied.
Can
Like,
I tell him? Can I just go? Okay, go, Prince, and then I'll because this.
I think it's like implied. I think it's implied, like, given the events that were happening, that probably the time in between they were developing that relationship. And that the events that happened to those people that were, like, that they stated did have a relationship with God, it probably
Yeah.
only happened to those who did.
So Ron, like, was they starving?
Of course they were. That's why they kept complaining.
Hell yeah.
So wait. So when Moses was on Mount Sinai, I mean Mount Sinai, is it Sinai? Sinai?
Yeah, Mount Sinai. Yes.
Oh, I said that.
Well, you asked.
Okay. Mount Sinai, was they starving?
Yeah. I mean, at one point they wasn't like starving all the time, but anytime that
Oh, okay. So now, right? The only thing is that they had manna, they had food. When Moses went up there, your contention was they didn't have their leader with them. So I was like, okay, they didn't have their leader. So does that make them just be like, all right, we just finna make a golden staff and just be like, yeah, like Moses isn't here. Let us.
You're mixing
Uh-huh.
stories.
How am I
Wait,
mixing?
because you're mixing him going up to the mountains in Exodus with the staff, the serpent staff in Numbers.
Wait, how am I doing that? Okay, so when he went up to the mountain, they didn't try to make items for themselves. I mean, idol for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
that's the
did.
golden calf.
That's a
That's
cool.
what I'm talking
You
about,
was talking
right?
about the serpent.
No, I didn't.
Well, you said the staff. You said the unless I misheard you. I thought you said the bronze
What did
staff.
I mean? Golden calf? Is it golden calf?
It was a golden calf. Yes.
Oh wait. Okay, so what was they trying to make when he was gone?
No, that's what they built a golden calf. They went
Oh
to
yeah, that's
Aaron.
what I'm saying.
Yes, they went to Aaron, told Aaron to build a golden calf for them because they didn't know where Moses was at, and they're gonna get their freak on, and they're gonna give praise to the golden calf, to the god that they were worshiping back in Egypt.
But that's wrong as heck, bro.
I mean, you could say it's wrong, but like they just went back to what they knew. You know what I'm saying? Like they was in Egypt for 400 years. They've just
Yeah, but
been
like
to know God for a couple of weeks.
I feel like you say that as a person that doesn't grant our paradigm. But if you're a
Yeah,
person that
yeah.
grants our paradigm, it's like, gang, the belief of the one true God is all around them and has been passed down to them the entire time. So they didn't only know like the idols that they had before, right?
So to that point, right? I'm looking at it in the way of like we're dealing with a set of people that kind of seen wonders in Egypt, right? I mean, even down to the nitty gritty that they had magicians that could also turn staffs into serpents. So it's like that there was some form of acknowledgement that there were other gods and entities that were also playing that hand. And according to their narrative, right? Of course, they got to proclaim themselves to be the victors. So God's like, I'm gonna cast judgment on the gods of Egypt. So it's like, I mean, they seen stuff happen and go down, and it's like, okay, cool, like we in the battle of the gods. At the same time, just because this is going down does not qualify God to be worshipped, if that makes sense. Like
Well,
just because they see
let's
God
grant your
move.
perspective. They're in the battle of the gods, and they got taken from slavery to like this whole other area. Now they got food and a much better like off situation, and then they decided like,
Okay,
and they
much
were
better.
clearly told it was this one. I mean, gang, slavery in the desert, it got to be
But
better.
I'm just taking the words that they said. Like they said
Well,
that
yeah.
we were better back in Egypt.
Okay. You know what? That like people have said that before, but and I'm unsure if you ever experienced this, but like there is a time where like I worked at a place and I was like, dang, I hate this job. I'd rather not have a job and play the game all day. And then I was broke playing the game all day, and I wish I had that job or any other job, right? Like you get what I'm saying? There's times where we say things in the moment that aren't necessarily true of the situation.
Can I say this? Let me tell you this right now. This is what I just got. Definitely got that down. Like, all right, bet. This is the thing. People love comfort more than they love freaking new things. They hate freaking new things, and they love comfortability. They love bondage. They love things that was oppressive and something that was but they hate things that are nuanced to them. They hate things that are freaking, they just hate it because it challenged them. It does not make them be into what they used to have or what they used to be. Like, what? Imagine looking back. That's why Lot looked back, and that's why she now is a pillar of salt. Imagine looking back to something that you are now out of. You are now no longer in.
But
Like,
this is the thing, right?
about the
These
treatment, but
people.
you're talking about the treatment because these people, what treatment was they getting? They was getting bondage. They cried out to him. We cannot forget that they was crying out. So at this point, you can't talk about no treatment. You're mad because you think that he's not trying to build a relationship. Are you even trying to build a relationship with him? Are you even trying to get to know him? So how are you going to talk about some treatment?
Well, for one, we're dealing with the all-powerful God that's supposed to know his people like the back of his hand, right? But we're dealing with an entity that he set the plan up for them to be free, right? So the thing is that if he could not build a substantial plan to have them be free, for them to like happily get to the promised land, that falls back on God. Now I know that's something that's controversial. I know that's something that y'all don't believe in. I understand, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, if we're dealing with a God that called out Moses from a burning bush and telling Moses, like, I want you to free my people, right? The thing is that he should have known how these people were going to act, how they were going to respond, how they were going to complain. And he should have already had something backed up as soon before he even got into the trouble that it did, before their little journey turned into 40 years. He should have had something in plan to actually give them the resources and the things that they needed during that time. Every time that they did complain, he did not have to react so hostile. Every time that they did complain, he didn't have to sick venomous snakes on them. Every time that they did complain, he didn't have to unalive people, right? There were different ways that he could have gone about all of those different things rather than through anger or thinking that somebody was trying to irritate him.
But I don't think that you're saying for you saying that the way that he interacted or responded was what bad. The way that you don't how can I say this? How can I say this? You don't know the severity of the action that said actions. You don't really
You can read it.
know, but you could no, you can't read that and then just say, oh, I have this full depiction of what was going on here. You're only going off by like what is given to you, right? But you're only making the assumption off of what is given to you, but don't know the exact full like idea of, you can't really see it with an eye view. You wasn't there, so you don't
But
really know
I mean,
why the
I mean,
severity of the punishment could have been the whatever the punishment was. You're
I could.
talking about a chosen people. You're talking about a people who is you're saying, okay, these people ain't have nothing to do with it. You're talking about a lineage of a covenant. You're talking
Yeah.
about something that is from Abraham to these people here.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a covenant that we don't even know how severe we don't know. The only thing we're going by is what we're reading. But you can't say that you know anything about like how severe the not even I won't even use that word. How severe the like whatever they had going on was.
So I'm put it like this, Darisha. If I can't read the Bible and understand what they're going through and make my own conclusion or come to an actual like conclusion at all on what's going on, then I think is being poorly written. I think when you read the Bible, like when
The
you're reading
Bible
the
says
Bible,
that.
you understand. Like I think when you read the Bible and you're looking at this story like this, mind you, ain't nothing that I'm reading from the story I'm like stretching or reaching on. Like I understand verbatim what happened from when they was in Exodus or when they was in Egypt down to when they was in Mount Sinai, right? I can look at verbatim everything that happened, that they had to deal with, all the ups and downs, even down to the nitty gritty of when they tried to, I forgot who it was. Somebody tried to rebel against Moses and they took some of the people and then the earth opened up and it swallowed them. I think it was like 3,000 of them. I forgot how many, but the earth swallowed them up and stuff like that. Like there was some stuff going on, even down to when, I believe it was some people trying to judge Moses' wife for being Ethiopian, and then they caught leprosy. Like, so I have a very well understanding of what was going on. I just know from what I'm reading in this story that this God abused his people, and I think there was just some better ways that he could have gone about some of the ways that he treated them.
The Bible states that you literally can't interpret it correctly without the Spirit.
Okay, that's a cop out.
That is true. That's not a y'all.
Well,
That's
That
you
is a
just
cop out.
said it's poorly written if I can't
watch
understand
this.
it. But
Watch this.
Yes, if I can't read it for what it
Prince.
says,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
poorly
no.
written.
Wrong. This is crazy word. So, cause my
Don't
truth,
call me crazy.
cause my religion has this truth for me. Can you agree that my religion, you can learn something from that? You can learn that is a form of truth for all believers, that we will go by the Spirit.
Yes,
Omnism.
it's the spirit. It's the spirit that we all have. I understand that, but y'all
Uh,
trying to make